Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Look at this. I don't even know how many people are in here. Oh, 15. Wow, that changed a lot. Okay, so, 19. Wow, look at you guys go. Give me one sec. I gotta grab something to drink. Abby, where'd you say that Johnson car mine was? It's in the bin? Like, where? It's a little car. Like, just free down there somewhere? Okay, I'll try to find it. Oh, where did it go? There it is. Hi, kitty boy. I bet you miss me. All right, welcome in, everybody. I have something to show you from my adventures. Chase did not win. Yes, he did. He's the champion. He's the best. He's the greatest. He's the legend of the of all time. So yeah, Chase Elliott is currently scored as the winner. Now, again, here's the thing: you can, however, appeal this. So if they win the appeal, Hamlin will still win the race. So don't worry, there's still a chance Hamlin wins this race, but it's just harder because he has to win an appeal, not just like... It's kind of the opposite of innocent until proven guilty. They have made their decision, so they have to have enough to override the decision. So we'll see here what, I guess, what happens. We'll kind of have to make a guess there, see kind of what NASCAR decides to say. Yeah, let's see here. First time hearing of it, Hamlin fan. Yeah, no, it's as of, I think it was about an hour or so ago, Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin were disqualified. From Bob Pockrass, he said that the reason they didn't find it in the pre-race tech was because whatever was illegal was hidden under the wrap, and during post-race inspection, sometimes they will cut part of the wrap off, and that's where they were able to find whatever was illegal on the front fascia. So... yeah, I don't know the details. Obviously, I didn't inspect it, but it sounds like whatever it was under the wrap, and it was the 18 and 11 that both had it. Oddly enough, that kind of makes a little bit of sense because the 18 and 11 qualified so much better than the 19 and the 20. Not so much better. They think they're all qualified well, but those two were on the front row. So clearly they had very similar setups and similar cars. So again, I don't know. Is it worth it? Was the penalty justified? I don't know. I still don't know. You know, all the fans that were there that day, today, saw Denny Hamlin do a burnout, saw Denny Hamlin do victory lane, went home, and all of a sudden they read in the paper, wait, what? Chase won? Weird. You know, they're not going to have any memory of that, and I believe Kenny Wallace said it best. Chase Elliott, if this is how they choose to do inspections, Chase Elliott's team was the one that was robbed of getting to celebrate their win, because he didn't get to do a burnout, he didn't get to go to victory lane, get all his pictures, do all that stuff. Again, I don't know. What's the right answer? Because I actually was at the first race where this happened, in the truck series, when Ross Chastain won at Iowa, and then his car or his truck was DQ'd for low ride height, and Brett Moffitt was the winner. Now, I'm a big Brett Moffitt fan. I was pretty happy. It was like, heck yeah. But that being said, I never got to see Brett Moffitt do a burnout. I never got to see him go to victory lane, and I stayed because it was a doubleheader that day. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing that we got to see as fans. So I was just I was sleeping up in the grandstands, literally laid down underneath one of the bleacher seats sleeping. And then all of a sudden my sister said to me, like, hey, Chastain just got DQ'd for too low ride height. Moffitt's now the winner. And I was like, sweet. But again, like, that's kind of how I found out. So yeah, hard to say for sure. You know, kind of what goes through your mind. Obviously, as a Chase fan, I'm not mad, but that being said, it's kind of like, I don't know. Of course it had to be Chase. So now the conspiracy theories can start. Whoa, watermelon Mountain Dew. That's weird. Anyway, let's see. If they win the appeal, then NASCAR is going to look so bad. Yeah, again, here's the thing. I don't know that they're going to have a lot to run on with the appeal, because if they were able to pull the front wrap off and then see that and say, hey, that's illegal, I don't know how you're going to make the case that it wasn't, because clearly if they've modified something to that front nose and hit it under the wrap, then, you know, that's something that's going to be tough for NASCAR. Let's see. I'm not even like, sorry, I didn't even know Hamlin, hold on here. Whoa, or MTJ or Bell. I don't know about MTJ or Bell. I don't know if they actually did those yet. Chase Elliott is the best. Yeah, let's see here. My opinion. Yep, for sure. Wow, I'm way behind. I feel so bad for Denny and his daughter. I mean, here's the thing. That memory's not going away. Frankly, I don't even think that checkered flag's going away. I don't think she's going to give it up. I think that's her flag, and she ain't giving it up. Because the fact is, Denny Hamlin crossed the line first. Denny Hamlin's team is going to say they won Pocono. Because they did. Now, how illegal was the thing they did? I don't know. I really don't. I don't know if that was really the difference between winning and losing on their cars today. There's no way to tell. So, the points will reflect one thing, and I think, frankly, the drivers are going to reflect it another way. Like, sure, will Chase's team enjoy the money and stuff? Great, but, it'll never quite sit right because the driver didn't truly celebrate it, But that being said, that's how it goes down, so... Yeah, it is. It's tough. I mean, like I said, I'm seeing your chat there, Denny Hamlin fan 11. Like I said, I was at the first time this happened, and that was when Chastain, he had already won his Kansas race in the truck, and then he won the Iowa race. It was not more than a couple weeks later, and I remember when that car was DQ'd and everything, it was kind of weird because it was like, wait a minute, now that means that Moffitt's the winner, and yeah, it was weird. But I mean, what do you do? I mean, it's weird because these drivers have already celebrated and gone home. Chase Elliott's on a plane somewhere and all of a sudden gets a text that he won. What does he do? Is he got to turn around and go back to the track? Like, how long can this tech go before we just say we need to have the tech done faster before we DQ guys? All right. Cheating toy ooters. Imagine Lionel right now. I bet Lionel is thrilled. They went from, it's a Denny win, it might not get made, to, oh, it's Chase. It's definitely getting made. So Lionel's happy about it. That's Hamlin's karma for making a sleeping face towards the King Roses. The King Ross. Yeah. I loved it. I thought, honestly, it was the same payback Chase gave to Hamlin in 2017. I thought it was perfect. It literally was. Ross Chastain was given a choice, lift or get walled, and he chose to get walled, and that's just perfect example of the same issue Ross Chastain gave to a lot of drivers. You lift or I put you in the wall, even though it's not a good way to race someone. Ross was on the receiving end of essentially his type of driving. So again, Ross is, I think, even said in the post race, he said, if I had raced smarter 2 months ago or a month ago or whatever, I don't know what he said, but he said, if I had raced smarter, I'd have had enough room to race. So he understands that Denny Hamlin will race you with respect if you race him the same way. So I think Ross, it's a hard lesson to learn, but better to learn it here at Pocono than at Phoenix. And instead he lost, yeah. No one is... Oh, Chase is champ. Yeah, Chase is the greatest ever. What can I say? Am I a KFB fan? I am a number... Like, right now, Chase would be my favorite driver. I like Noah and Brett Moffitt in Xfinity. Don't really have a truck favorite right now, so just kind of... I don't know, Hocevar maybe. But, yeah, that's my current favorite. I was a big Casey Kane fan back in the day, so... I'm praying for you to recover from your driver's crap season. As a Chase fan, I wouldn't be mad about if JGR won the appeal, but I doubt they will. Yeah, that's my thing, is I think it's going to be tough to win an appeal when they say don't alter this device and it's been altered. That's going to be a tough stretch. Man, who's a Bowman fan right now? I don't know. You got 48 NASCAR fans, but that might be a Jimmy thing. So, man, I see it down there, Bowman fan. It's a tough stretch, man. Bowman... I am concerned with his performance. He has been not just bad, but oh my gosh, has he been awful. Like, good grief. Between him and Byron, they're both running like crap, but at least Byron's got 2 wins to his name. And a bunch of laps led where, man, I don't know what the heck's going on with Bowman. They are just not good right now. That team, I'll say it, that team since 2020 is the only team that hasn't been shooken up. Obviously, Chase's team hasn't, but they won a championship, so that doesn't count. But the 5 team got shaken up a little bit, and so did the 24 team. And the 48 stayed the same, and the 48 is still, I would say, about the same distance behind the 9 team. The other 2 teams are just better, and they're the weak link. I don't think Alex Bowman's the weak link, necessarily, but I also don't know that it's Greg Ives. I think there's a certain point where there may need to just be a change for the sake of making a change. And I don't know what the right answer is, but I would be surprised if Bowman and Ives run it back again next year because they have not shown race winning speed in 2 years. All right, let's see here. I'm sorry, I'm not a Hamlin fan. He's one of my faves, but he's not my fave. Hey, he won the race today. Whether it's legal or not, we can debate that whenever. That is the biggest Mickey win ever. I knew those were coming. I am so excited for the meme wars that are about to take place. I'm not I think that's supposed to be politically correct, so that's what I don't know what you're talking about there, man. All right, let's see here. Wow, you guys are going nuts down here. Okay, 48 is crap this year. Hey, not in IndyCar. In IndyCar, Jimmy Jam got his first top 5. I was there to watch it. Ooh. Wanted to zoom in, but I didn't want to do that. There we go. Wow, that's really bad. It's close. But yes, I did get one of these. They're actually handing these out for free at the racetrack. So got a little Jimmy car. First Indy car that has the aero screen on it. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, Jimmy was good yesterday and today. Yesterday, he was making moves on the high side better than anyone else. People started to catch on as the day went on. And it was pretty fun. I mean, watching Jimmy really go out and run, like watching yesterday, it was like, wow, this is like, go Jimmy, go. It was fun. He spun, went to the back, not to the back, but he spun, kind of went into the pits, got some tires, and then on that next run, he ran to the front. He passed Scott Dixon on the same tires. He passed Colton Herta on the same tires. He passed a lot of guys that didn't have the old tires and worked his way up to 4th naturally before all the leaders pitted, and he stayed out because he had those fresher tires and just ran it a little long and was good enough to pit, lose a lap just by a little bit to Newgarden, and then get his lap back the natural way and keep driving away. So, later in the race it faded at the very end, but it was great to see Jimmy run so well. So, I think Iowa is a good track for IndyCar. I think everyone got to see 2 great shows. So I hope they bring the doubleheader back because, man, it was great. I mean, he was fast. And I think today, had he been better on pit stops or had better pit stops and come out on that last restart between 1st and 4th, I think he could have had a shot at it because he battled back around Ericsson after making a big mistake in 1 and 2, like went way too high. And then, was chasing Scott Dixon down and almost could have caught him for 4th. So Jimmy was very good at Iowa. All right, let's see here. Gibbs is P16. Yep, he gained 2 spots on those disqualifications. Hamlin and Kyle Busch got disqualified because of some aero problems on the windshield under the wrap, I believe. Was it under the windshield? They said front fascia, which makes me think it's the nose. I think the front fascia, I don't have a next gen, but I believe it's this area right here. Oh, sorry, guys. There you go. Right here. The area right below the Camry. That's where the air opening is. I believe that is the area they were referring to. Something was under the wrap there. I believe that's the case. I am not quoting anything as a fact. I think that's what they meant when they said it. If it's under the windshield, then I'm totally wrong. But hope for Newgarden. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he had a dominant car again today. And I thought the only shot Pato O'Ward had was going to be to short pit him because he stayed within about 3 seconds of him, 3 to 5 seconds on that last run. And it was closing in on the final pit stops. And if he came in 5 to 10 laps ahead of Newgarden, he was going to jump him in the pits. So I was kind of interested to see how that strategy played out. Obviously, then Newgarden has that issue and that doesn't matter anymore. But, I mean, for IndyCar, those were fantastic races. I was completely satisfied. Like, that was some good racing. I mean, yes, it's always annoying when a lot of aerodynamics play a factor. Iowa still has that, whether you like it or not. If someone ran in the lane in front of someone else, they had trouble. But I'm telling you, for IndyCar, that was some dang good racing. All right, let's see here. 14 good winners, 7 bad. Not sure what that means. We haven't had 21 winners. Does Gibbs getting a good finish put more pressure on KB? I don't think it's pressure. It's not. Kyle Busch has nothing left to prove. It literally comes down to sponsorship and if somebody sponsors him. Imagine if Harvick didn't get involved in the wreck and wins the race because of 2 disqualifications. That would be ironic and really funny. Am I going to the truck race at Lucas Oil? Because right at the entrance of Lucas Oil by the road, there's a Diecast store. Oh, really? Well, that's cool. I won't actually be going. Um, with all the inflation and crap, I just don't have the funds to go do it. Hey, what can I say? You know what? I'll make a deal. If 10 people buy Diecast this week, I'll go. So that means 10 in-stock Diecast have to go this week, and then I will bite the bullet and go do it. But unless that happens, I can't. So that'll be my bet. And obviously I got to do pre-orders if they do the Elliott's. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, I just couldn't do it. I'm still going to Bristol, still going to Kansas. Just had to give up on the road course. Obviously, also 2 weekends in a row is a little rough. The Iowa doubleheader was fun, so going to another one next weekend would be a little exhausting. But yeah. Gibbs and Stewart Haas both struggled this year. Are we seeing Hendrick resurgence yet again, or another golden age perhaps? I do think Hendrick's resurgence is going to stick around for a while. People want to point out, it's Chase Elliott or it's Kyle Larson. It's none of it. Here's what it is. It's Chad Knaus. Chad Knaus got promoted. He now basically runs the shop floor, and Chad Knaus is a freaking genius, and you're never going to out-duel Chad Knaus. So the only chance Gibbs has of beating that is promoting Cole Pern to that same role within the Gibbs organization. Maybe. But yeah, Chad Knaus getting put in that position. Hendrick cars are going to be very good for a very long time. It's going to be a while before we see them struggle like they did back in 2017. It's kind of crazy to think that the two-time champ can't get a sponsor to keep the ride. I think it has more to do with how much the sponsor is required to pay up. The fact is, at the moment, there's a very good example for why sponsors are struggling. And I'm going to point at this weekend at the Iowa Speedway. Hy-Vee sponsored that race and went all out and did it great. I went and spent $80 on a cart full of stuff for like the weekend. We're talking like drinks, beverages, or what is the word? Between soda, I wouldn't call it beer. It's hard Mountain Dew, whatever it is. And getting things like, God, why am I forgetting grocery names? It was right on the tip of my tongue. Getting different groceries though, basically. So I got a cart full of stuff. Went and spent $80 at Hy-Vee instead of Walmart, and that was just straight up out of appreciation for Hy-Vee doing this. So basically what happened was the governor reached out and said we need to get racing back at the Iowa Speedway because the government or the state government obviously invested in that track when they were first building it because they were hoping to bring some revenue to the state. In the last 2 years, it sat completely empty. And so, thank goodness we had a governor who at least paid a little attention and said, hey, we need to have racing at this track. We can't let this sit empty. And it's like, good. They went to the right people, apparently, because Hy-Vee went all out. I mean, Hy-Vee people were working like everything. They were working the concession stands. They were working the security. They were working I shouldn't say the security. That might have been hired out. But I saw people in Hy-Vee shirts all over the track. Hy-Vee... And I want to make this as clear as possible. Hy-Vee put that race on. Iowa Speedway was rented by IndyCar and Hy-Vee to put that on. That was not Iowa Speedway's crew that did all that work. That was Hy-Vee. And that's why, personally, I would rather Iowa Speedway just get sold to Hy-Vee, or Hy-Vee, buy the naming rights, so it's just called Hy-Vee Speedway in Iowa or something like that. I'm totally good with that. And then Hy-Vee just kind of caters the whole track, concessions, all that kind of stuff, because concessions were good. I mean, there was no lines. They kept things moving. They were on it. The best way to put it is I have never in my life seen Iowa Speedway more efficiently run than what I saw this week. And it was fantastic. I am just absolutely bullish on how good it was. I cannot wait to go back next year. They announced and said they'd be coming back next year. They didn't say for sure it was a doubleheader. I hope they do a night race because it was hot on Saturday. But, man, I had such a great time. They did such a good job. They had food truck competitions so that they got food trucks from pretty good distances to come in. I mean, I got a freaking brisket sandwich out of one of these food trucks. It's like, it was no slouch. I was just blown away. It was such a good time. If it wasn't so hot Saturday, I bet the crowd would have been a lot better because Sunday's crowd was absolutely packed. I mean, I couldn't find a good spot to sit, so I ended up standing because there was kind of a general admission for the first 8 rows because it's harder to see down there. So I like to stand up at a fence. There's really good spot, but absolutely blown away. I will absolutely be going next year, no doubt about it. It was super fun. I am so happy to see my home track being taken care of so well by Hy-Vee. And hopefully, if NASCAR isn't going to put the effort and the money towards this track to really make it shine, then they are willing to sell it off to someone who will, because, as I said, Hy-Vee did spectacular. All right, now let me go down here and see if I can catch some chats here for you. Iowa has enough room. They should have a super speedway. Nah, dude, I'm not kidding. Iowa Speedway is one of the greatest tracks I've seen a race at. The only track I enjoy watching actual racing better is Bristol. Bristol is the king. There's no better place to sit in the stands and watch a race than Bristol. But second to that is Iowa. It's better than Kansas. It's better than Chicago. It's better than Pocono. That's not really a surprise. But I'm telling you, the Iowa Speedway is one of the best places to watch a race. The cars are never that far away. The infield is dug plenty deep, so you can see the whole track. The track sits way higher than the infield, so you can even see most of the track from the infield. It's terrific. So, yeah, all they need to do is put the right stuff together. So hopefully it happens. Did I see that Bubba got a P10? I believe Bubba got P8 because of the DQs. But yes, I saw another good run for him. I also saw Chase win the SRX race. It was really fun to watch him and Tony Stewart duel that race out. Glad to see Marco get the championship. I was a little bummed for Newman to get full-blown taken out like that. I would have rather seen him race it out. But yeah, Chase had a heck of a... Here's the way I'll put it. I had a almost perfect race weekend. Let's go to Saturday. Saturday, Noah Gragson wins the Xfinity race. Well, he's one of my favorites. Good. That was a good night. Saturday night, Williams Grove Speedway in Pennsylvania. Brad Sweet finally wins at that track after 30-some tries. Brad Sweet wins. I'm happy. We move into Sunday. Now, Paddle Award, I don't really have an IndyCar favorite, so just getting to see a great race was enough. Seeing Jimmy top 5, and maybe you could say he's my favorite, but good. Chase Elliott getting the win after the DQs, really good. So I got to see, between all the different series, I got to see basically my favorite guys win almost everything. I said Gragson, Elliott, and Brad Sweet won yesterday, and then today Elliott wins by DQ. So again, if the DQ stands, then he'll win. We'll see what happens. But either way, I mean, I couldn't ask for more. Okay, coming from a Harvick fan, but watch Elliott get like 7-8 wins and get eliminated at Martinsville, and someone like Chastain wins the championship. No, better yet, watch someone like Truex, or not even Truex or Blaney. Let's go somebody deeper in the standings. Let's watch someone like, I don't know, who's 9th or 10th in the standings. Let's watch someone like Reddick win it, because he's good at Homestead, which is in the round of 8. So if he gets to the round of 8 and then wins at Homestead, he's in the championship. So just think about that. If Reddick can get into the final in the round of 8, Homestead's in that round. So let's just see Reddick win it, and then it's a total sham, just like it was when he won his first Xfinity title. Like, don't get me wrong, Reddick's good, but that first Xfinity title was bad. That was a joke. He was not that good. He was not a championship-level caliber season that year. Like, I get it. It's nothing Reddick did wrong. It's just that's how bad the system is. All right, let's see here. Another crazy prediction. A Hendrick driver will win the title. I mean, Hendrick has 2 really good drivers, so them cheating Japanese Toyoters. Hey, I drive one of them. I just wish they would cheat in a better way than me having to replace my head gasket. I mean, the car had 200 and some thousand miles, so I can't be too disappointed. May I help you, sir? Hey, may I help you? What you doing? You're kind of causing problems. Oh, he's coming in to visit. He wants to be the star. Just making himself right at home. How you doing? Yeah, you missed me this weekend. I can see that now. Well, he's gonna sit here, so we'll just look at a Jimmy car in front of a big fluffy cat now. I wasn't there all weekend, so he must be very lonesome. But yeah, so it was a pretty fun weekend nonetheless. But yeah, I still have some Brad Sweet 164s available, so if anyone's looking, they can check them out. I do still have a couple. Actually, I think I got a couple 118s as well, so I got plenty of the winners. Don't knock it off the... Whatever, he knocked it down. Yes, Jimmy's okay. It looks like he's got room to get out for now, but, you know, he just didn't go into the safer barrier. He's a little chubby boy, so he's all good. Don't knock it down. God, he's being a pain. He's gonna knock it out on himself. Well, it is what it is. I've had such a good weekend. I had such a fun time. I can't even complain, even though there's a cat laying down knocking all the cars over for my backdrop. But let's go to some chats here. Everyone's talking about my kitty, so he's obviously doing something right. You be careful. You don't need that. Let's see if we got some chats here that aren't about my cat, I should say. Let's see here. Good grief, you guys really like my kitty boy here. He could have been named like Clyde or something. See, he got the name Moffitt because of his mustache, and it was when Moffitt was on that 2018 playoff run. And so if it was Chase on a like this year playoff run, he probably could have gotten the nickname Clyde or something. But yeah, he had a little mustache, so that's how he got that name. No, you can't have him. All right, let's get you down. You're clearly causing more trouble than you can handle right now. I'll let you sit on my lap, and I'll just sit here and answer questions. There we go. I'll show you guys the I know. She's waiting. Yes. I'll sit you down. There we go. All right, let's see here. So what is next week's race on the oval or road course? I can't seem to find an answer anywhere. It is a road course. So next week, IndyCar and Xfinity on... yep, it fell, but I picked it back up. It is IndyCar and Xfinity on Saturday and the Cup Series on Sunday. And they will actually have the trucks there for IRP Friday night. So we will have plenty of racing going on in Indy. I was hoping to get out there. Obviously, gas and inflation kind of hit everybody hard, and I'm not immune to that, so had to cut one out of my schedule this year. A little bummed about that, but, you know, what are you going to do? So I will say the Indy road course is a pretty good track. I got to see a race there last year. The TVs and the little screens they have on the front stretch so you don't really miss anything is really nice. And there's some pretty good spots where you can see a decent chunk of stuff, so pretty good. Do I think the Winston Cup format should be back? I would like that format. I would definitely not oppose it. But if I'm being realistic, the best option we can get is the old-style chase format. 10 races, most points scored in that section wins it. And so I think that's the best option, frankly. I would love to get the Winston Cup format back. I just don't see it happening. How will they make Elliott win if they didn't scan the car? It's Lionel. They're going to make it happen. There's too much money to be made for Lionel to let that sit out. So going to the Coke 600 next year. Well done. Have a good time. I'm hoping to go to the Daytona 500, but I've got it pegged on my schedule, so it's like more than just a whisper. It's a plan. Let's see, what's the next? JFZ28 says, I think Chicagoland will be back, with a question mark. I don't believe they're going to be back next year, necessarily. They definitely won't be on the Cup schedule next year. But that being said, there is a chance I could see NASCAR running the Xfinity and truck there ahead of the Chicago street race, potentially, as some type of like warm-up to get the city eased into it. I could easily see them not going there too. So that's the only potential chance I see them coming back. The only way I would see it happening is something like that. What do I make of the rumors that NASCAR is going back to the Indianapolis Oval in 2023? Is an admission that the road course failed? What is the future of the track long term? Do they leave? No. Let's see. That's Walk Talk 21. I think what it has more to do with is fans. The fans did not tune in to the road course. They didn't care. The fans wanted to see the Indy Oval. The Brickyard 400 is an iconic race. Whether the fans that are diehards liked it or not, or anyone wanted to whine and complain about it, the fact is people tuned in to the Brickyard 400. The Brickyard 400 meant something. And the ratings were terrible last year. I mean, terrible. So there's something about not having the oval race that matters, and I think NASCAR is going to go back on the oval for that reason. I think the oval is important to NASCAR because NASCAR races on ovals. Why would you go to one of the most iconic ovals in the country and race on the road course? You know, that's kind of the way I look at it. So I think that's more what it has to do with. It wasn't necessarily a failure as much as it was just a situation where it's an oval track. The race needs to be on the oval. You know, that's more what it has to do with. I wish Cup Series would go to Iowa for a day and night race like Xfinity used to. Yeah, me too. But Hy-Vee has to run it personally. I don't think the Iowa Speedway is staff and not the staff. I don't want to blame them because a lot of them got laid off during COVID and junk. But just Iowa Speedway, frankly, was better run with Hy-Vee. They had plenty of support. They had enough people and then some. Like they made it happen and they were ready. And I would love for Hy-Vee to sponsor a cup race. So if that's the case, I think that's what you have to have because that's just personally where I think the issues are. I mean, like I said, more effort went into this race from my view as a fan, just one who's gone to the track many times. This race seemed to have more effort put into it than any race I've ever seen at the Raceway. So Hy-Vee, basically between all the sponsorship and making it happen, IndyCar obviously is a huge part of that as well. But they put the energy into the race and it worked. So I hope it's not something where, we got a cup race, we can go back to being lazy and not putting any effort in. That's the only thing. Most tracks are better with the next gen for sure. I think there's a certain caveat to that. I think the next gen needs two things. They need a short track package that is way better than what we have. I mean, the short track package needs to be like 790, maybe 750 horsepower will be enough. Right now, they don't have enough horsepower on short tracks. And the diffuser and the entire underbody needs to go away. Because right now, what they have at short tracks is not acceptable. Like, New Hampshire was okay because it had 2 lanes, but it is so hard to pass at short tracks. I am very worried Bristol's going to be a bummer because, man, there's too much grip. The tires are too wide for a short track. They have too much corner grip at short tracks and not enough horsepower so that they can basically just go into a corner, shift down, boom, run off the corner. And you don't even have to really hit your corner well. So I am still worried about short tracks. But that being said, it's worked on the 1.5 miles for now, but I still have my doubts about certain areas. Basically, the best way to put it for everybody is what we have right now is essentially the 550 package with an extra 100 horsepower. That's essentially what we have. The diffuser helps with a little bit of that at higher speeds. Like, basically what the diffuser does is help the air at high speeds not create so much dirty air. But you can still notice it at a place like Pocono that if somebody runs the line directly in front of your guy in the corner, he washes up, aero tight. Aero tight is not fixed. It's just a little less. And the extra horsepower helps with that. So I would be concerned if they went to a place like Iowa. I think they need to have the skinnier tires. Xfinity is still the greatest racing series NASCAR has. I'm sorry. The Xfinity series is the premier. I shouldn't say premier. It is the best racing that can be put on a racetrack is Xfinity. Like, hands down, it's not close. The Xfinity series is just best. Was able to score a Gordon Pepsi DuPont COT Dega win from like 09. It was 07. For $25 with no box. Would you have a plain COT wing? Definitely not associated with said car. Let's see here. Well, here's the wing. Actually, yeah, it is a plain wing. It doesn't look like there's any logos on it. I do have a wing, I think, somewhere. I gotta have a wing somewhere. I just don't know where. But I'm sure I got a wing around here somewhere I could find. It might not be plain though. It might have amp energy on it, so you just have to paint some black over it. Do I have an Elliott Sadler car? Not in 124th. I used to have the 19 car with an Evernham, but not anymore. Let's see. I went to the 2015 Daytona 500. Great place to watch a race. I'm excited. I hope to go down. The only thing is, after being to all these tracks that are so short, seeing a big race like that is going to be different when the cars are really far away. All right. Going to the Roval this year. Well, enjoy that, Race Fan 9. Have a good time. It should be fun. Clyde Ryder says, can I have your kitty? The answer to that is a resounding no. He is not available. Chicagoland isn't coming back. It was destroyed. Nah, it's going to have a chance. They're not going to just leave it. Again, same situation there. The government put money into that facility, so they're not going to want to let that thing just rot. They want to make sure that it's financially feasible. And fingers crossed, if they do downsize the track property and potentially even shorten the track a little bit whenever they have to repave, kind of like what they're doing with Auto Club, like something where they turn it into more of a short track, then there's hope. It's fine as it is. It really is aged very well, but the biggest thing is the infrastructure around the track is not very good. Like, the traffic in and out of that place is awful. I mean, I went twice, and traffic both times were bad. Um, what do I think of Auto Club confirming it's going to be rebuilt as a short track? It's probably still the right call. Here's the thing: NASCAR is going to make so much money selling off the back part of that property for real or for all those factories, which will also probably include bigger roadways and more improved infrastructure around the racetrack. So it's probably the right long-term call. It just sucks that we're losing one of our only 2 mile big ovals like that. Michigan hasn't aged very well, so it just sucks that we're losing such a nice big speedway like that. If I have an Elliott Sadler car, put it in front of your camera, realistically, on its lid. Yeah, I do not have one, so... Well, that was weird. Yeah, it is weird, especially the whole thing there. Next to Ryan Newman, I think Elliott Sadler has the lightest car ever. Yeah, Ryan Newman doesn't necessarily have the lightest car ever. He just gets hit by the lightest car ever. Every time a car goes in the air, it lands on him. I wonder if they'll fix the curbs in this year, considering last year. Yes, they need to fix those curbs. I think they'll figure something out. I'm sure they'll have a better idea so that they don't destroy the racetrack. But death curbs were amazing. It made it so funny to see Bubba and Byron go flying into orbit. Yeah, it was something. It made a race that should have got done at like 3 go to an extra hour and a half. My uncle went, and his wife went to every Daytona 500 up until 2001, where Dale passed away. He was traumatized and never went to another race again. Man, that sucks. Yeah, F in the chat. That's all I can say. NASCAR fan journey over. 750 package, please bring back to short tracks. Absolutely. No diffuser, 750 horsepower, and skinnier tires. Like, I think people haven't put enough emphasis on the fact that they have wider tires now. The wider tires make a lot more corner speed. Like, narrow that tire up a little bit. Get these things a little wobbly. Like, that's my biggest thing is, honestly, I'm perfectly okay with having short track tires. Having a short, narrow, short track tire, I am totally on board with. I mean, I don't know. I don't see any reason why they couldn't. Unless somebody's got some magic thing that says that it can't do it, I would be perfectly on board with having a narrowed up short track tire just to help it give a little less grip so that the cars have a little less corner speed, a little more travel, and then that horsepower plays a much bigger factor on corner exit, giving them a chance to really race each other. My dad didn't know how significant Earnhardt was because he was a Gordon fan, but when I did my research back in 2016, I explained that day that day to him and the year, and the last year on lap 3. Oh, gotcha, the last on lap 3, okay. At home, my dad and I held up a 3. Oh, the last lap. Okay, I see what you did in 2016. Yeah, when Johnson got it. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I said I never watched Earnhardt. I was not a fan until 2003, so I never watched him race. And I'm telling you, it's something where I appreciate Dale Earnhardt for who he was to the sport, even though I would not have been a fan of his. I would not have liked the way Earnhardt raced. But that being said, I can appreciate every single thing he did for the sport of NASCAR. And DEI. DEI would have been a Hendricks level or caliber super team right now if Dale Earnhardt was around. It might even be superior. Chase Elliott haters. Elliott got gifted a win. Me, no. Chase just had the best legal car. I mean, yeah, what do you say at this point? Like, Chase has been caught cheating before at Chicagoland 2017. I was there for that, but it wasn't quite the biggest one. Let's see. Iowa for the NASCAR championship. No. If you've ever been to Iowa in November, you know it'll be freezing. Bowman fan 97. Screw 750. Run 950. No. Actually, Bowman fan, I'm going to get you a little history lesson. On short tracks, 750 is actually better. And the reason is because it allows people to poke and gouge a little bit without sending people spinning. Because when you have too much horsepower, any little nudge makes you spin your rear wheels and spin out. Or, wreck. So when you lessen the horsepower, it actually gives you a little bit more freedom to nudge and give a bump and kind of rub at short tracks. The smaller horsepower helps guys stay under control during contact. But at bigger tracks, like, say, Kansas, Chicago, Michigan, Pocono, these really big speedways, 950 is actually better because 950 gets these cars running so fast, they have to slow down in the corners, use the brake, let it set, make the good corner exit, and it almost races like a larger short track because of how much horsepower you have. So the perfect package, honestly, would be 950 at the big tracks, 750 at the small tracks. Low downforce on all of them. Too much power is what? I can't even read it. Indy cars that fly too much. Okay, I'm lost. I'm lost. Did I hear about the leaked NASCAR document about an electric series? Yeah, I heard about it, and I am perfectly okay with the NASCAR trying an electric series. Here's what I don't want, because this is what people keep saying. The electric series will be the Xfinity series. No, don't you touch that Xfinity series. The Xfinity series is a perfect series as it is right now. The Xfinity series is what every nostalgic NASCAR fan loves about NASCAR. The team's building their own cars. It's got 5-lug wheels, big tire sidewalls with a ton of air pressure adjustments you can make. It's got the number in the center of the door, as silly as that is, that it needs to be that way. Low downforce, not quite enough horsepower, but if you added more horsepower, it would be the perfect series that every old school race fan wants. Don't touch that series, leave it alone. If you want to do electric, that's fine. It's a fully separate series to anything. It's a brand new series. That's called expansion. That's what NASCAR needs to do. Expand into an electric series. Don't take the electric series and destroy one of your best racing series you have. So yeah, but otherwise, I'm totally good about it. F it, run 1,000. Hey, I'm on board. I don't even care if it has to be a V8. If it has to be a supercharged, like twin turbo V6, I'm in. I don't care. Whatever makes the speed, man. Let's see here. Not sure some people hate Chase Elliott. He didn't do anything. It seems like it's fan base. People that don't like Chase, it's mostly the fan base. Because Chase Elliott, really solid dude, pretty tempered. I mean, pretty even tempered. Is not. He's certainly not crazy that it would, that all this hate would be justified. A lot of it just has to do with his crazy fan base. Maybe he wins too much. Maybe that's the case, especially more recently. Jackson BX13 says, off topic, but I'm looking for a custom idea. Do you have any in mind? Hey, if you want to make a custom Xfinity car of one of Brett Moffitt's car from this year, I'll buy it. I'm totally in. I've bought a couple that I found just for fun, but I would love to see that or his truck he ran at Knoxville. Like, you want ideas? Anything that, because they don't make any Moffitt cars, so anything made, I'll even be interested in it. All right, let's see here. Let's see. I'm mad Elliott won at my home track. Oh, that's right. You're a Harvick fan. Okay, I was going to say I saw Clyde, and I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't that Chase? But no, I see you're a Harvick fan. Man, it was a good race, though. Yeah, it was. I feel like NASCAR's trying to make itself pure motorsport like F1, IndyCar, etc., not stock cars like it was doing back, like it's doing its best to be for so long. NASCAR doesn't know what they're doing, if I'm honest. Honestly, they don't. That's the only thing I can say. They don't know. Auto Club short track equals death. Bumps go bye-bye. I mean, they have to redo it soon, so there's nothing they can do about it. It just sucks that we're losing the big oval, honestly. All right. I have a super chat here. I got to find it, though. Pocono deserves to be on the schedule just because of the crowd. The crowd shows up, you deserve to have a race. That's why I don't like the Road America being taken away. Here we go. Arian Gomez says they can put grooves on slick tires like F1 in 98 to 08. I mean, if they have to, they could do that. I would just personally say use the smaller tires. They do better with air pressure adjustments. They could run interliners. Huh. What about them interliners I've been talking about all year? But yeah, I'd be all for either whatever it takes, honestly. If I don't watch F1, the halo is a loop that goes around the driver to protect fatality. Yes. No, I've watched a little bit. I definitely know what the halo is. And it has been a lifesaver already so many times. It's cold. I'm originally from Burlington. It's in South Wheat Park. Oh yeah, I know. I know where it's at. But yeah, no, it's I mean I would go. I'd sit in the cold. I don't care. But yeah, I don't think it would do a great job there. Is NASCAR doing a Formula E? I hope so. I hope it's a fully separate series. I think you're meant to say Just Whiz. I think you meant to say OMG. I love the Xfinity Series car on iRacing, not Live. I assume you meant love. More power, yes, John Deere. If Jeremy Clarkson ran NASCAR cars, it would have 2,500 horsepower and 200 millimeter tires. Yeah, that wouldn't be that would be a problem. NASCAR needs to check the 19, 20, and 23. Well, the 20 should be getting checked. I think Bell finished far enough up the ladder that he'll get checked. But the reason I think they might be legal is because they didn't qualify up front like the other two did. So I think there's a chance that the 19, 20, 45, and all them are legal. NASCAR would have no purpose if it turned into electric series. Well, not necessarily, because honestly, electric cars have a lot of torque. There's some good to that, and having something where that basically pressures the electric car makers to build a battery that can withstand the distance and the load that a race car would ask. There's some potentially good in that in terms of like making it so that it's more of the manufacturers competing against each other. Yes, the drivers are still involved, but we just don't need it at the top level. It can be a side series where the manufacturers are really having fun. All right, let's see here. Yeah, we got 50 people in here. I'm trying to keep up, but I'm falling a little bit behind. Let's see. Who's my pick for next week's race? If I have one. Personally, Elliott's just on a roll. I think he's going to be my pick. Well, Elliott does not normally win back-to-back races. Only done it once his entire career. So I would like to pick Elliott as a road course. It makes the most sense personally. But for some reason, I'm literally going to go out on a random limb. And I'm going to say that next week's road course is going to be won by a not a first-time winner, but a new winner for the year, and it's going to be Michael McDowell. I don't know why. I'm just going to throw it out there. For some reason, in my gut, McDowell is saying, I'm going to win one. So, I don't know. I could be wrong, but NASCAR needs to be more consistent on what's a caution. At Pocono today, a lot of single-car spins, and NASCAR would immediately throw a caution for the crash. I don't believe it should be a caution. Here's the thing. I'm with you. I think there has to be judgment, though. Like, if a car spins at the back of the field, nobody is within 30 seconds of coming up on that car, let him get going. Like, just let him get moving. Don't throw a yellow. But if he spins in front of the entire field, you have to throw a yellow. So it comes down to the danger of other competitors around that car. So personally, I think that's where it comes down to. I just hope they use good judgment. Sometimes they don't use very good judgment. Like, honestly, the Keselowski thing at Nashville did not bother me. Keselowski got way down off the track, got as far out of the way as possible. Now, that being said, he shouldn't have gone all the way around to the backstretch on the last lap. He should have just pulled it to the infield and parked it, because he literally didn't gain any spots by doing that. So NASCAR should have done better there, specifically, but I'm totally on board. Try to keep these races green if you can, because cautions are the easiest way for a fan to walk away from a race. I know that firsthand from IndyCar today. Their cautions, they don't dink around. They get the crap cleaned up and they go. Like, Iowa started after the Cup race, and I literally got to watch all of Stage 3. That's how fast IndyCar runs their races. They are on it. There is no screwing around. There is no dilly-dallying. They get moving, and they get this thing done. So, yeah. If you don't have to throw a yellow, don't throw it, but when it comes to safety, always throw the yellow. So, again, there's certain moments where it's like, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, if a guy spins all on his own, nobody coming, let him get moving. But there's definitely still some inconsistencies. I want judgment. I don't care if it's like every time someone spins, there's a yellow. No, I don't. Let's let some guys spin, on stuff like that. Jason Leffler is laughing at Denny up at the racetrack in the sky since Denny stole the 11 from him. I'm guessing that Jason Leffler would have a boatload of respect for Denny. I think, honestly, who was laughing is Ross Chastain, because Ross Chastain beat Denny Hamlin now. NASCAR should be road course only, except for a few short tracks or super speedways. No super speedways with electric. I mean, I don't want to see a hard crash and battery contents going everywhere. And frankly, 200 miles an hour isn't really where the electric motor is designed. They have a boatload of torque and acceleration, and so I think the best place you could run an NASCAR series is short tracks, and then road courses would be in the same zone as that. Let's see. I think realistically, Chase next win is at the Glen. I could totally see him winning the Glen. I could also see him winning next week. I could see Chase Elliott going into the playoff with 6 wins. He could easily win the Glen, and Indianapolis. Now, that doesn't mean he will. That's certainly not likely. But I would not be surprised if he wins the Glen in Indianapolis. That being said, trying to think what other races are on that schedule. Daytona, yeah, kind of a crapshoot. Sure, he could potentially win, but yeah, whatever. Michigan, if Michigan races anything like Atlanta, that 9 car is going to be fast, and he has a shot to win there. So, like, basically what I'll say is if Chase Elliott enters the playoffs with 6 wins, I will not be surprised. I will be surprised if he somehow goes in with 7. With as few races that are left, if he somehow manages to knock his way up to 7 wins, I'd be pretty surprised. But 6, I wouldn't bet on 6, but I wouldn't be surprised. Race Graves, what is the most you've spent on a diecast? I believe the most I have spent on a diecast is $525 on the Chase Elliott Homestead car back however many years ago. Which, if you know the price of diecast, that car now sells for $1,800 to $2,200. So definitely got it at the right time. Wish I would have gotten it a lot earlier, but yes, that is the most I think I have ever spent on a single diecast. I've spent close, though. I've spent up of 3 or 4 on certain ones. Like, I bought a Casey Kane 2011 Elite autographed Red Bull car. That's like one of my holy grails I've always wanted. I think I spent close to $400 on one of those. But I sold off my ARC for like, 3 something. So it's not quite the same because I'm selling one and buying another. But that's the biggest single car I've ever bought that I can think of. I've had plenty of cars over 100, but rarely do I go much over 2. Like, I could count on one hand how many times I've spent over 200 on a diecast, and most of the time it's been Grail cars like Kyle Busch's Homestead car in Elite, Jimmy Johnson's Homestead car. Actually, no, I got that for under that too. So I'm trying to think what I spent over 200 or over 300 on. The Kane car, the Chase car, I got all my Chase wins when they came out. What else did I spend a lot on? Oh, Truex's Coke 600 from 2016 in Elite. That one I spent quite a bit on. I don't know if I have a bunch of other ones, honestly. That's a hefty amount to put on a diecast, to be honest. I remember the good old days when it was only 12 people on a stream, and at the time, half the time didn't even talk about racing. Oh, for sure. I still like to talk about other things. It's just, it's not snowmobiling season. So all I have time to do is this right now. NASCAR is trying to get chaos going when they throw a caution. Yeah, NASCAR likes their chaos. I just think it doesn't help. Let's see. Somebody had a good one here. Kozlowski was trying his best trophy truck impression. Jeff, there it is. Jeff had one. It was poor Jeb Burton. If anyone remembers, a few weeks ago, he said he was going to wreck the dog food out of Noah, but he didn't say food. So I had to laugh at it. It was like, hey, it looks like he got the dog food wrecked out of him. Like, he goes airborne and whatnot, but holy cow, what a wacky wreck that was. Let's see here. Richmond, does Elliott maybe have a shot? He's never been very good there. That's kind of a Gibbs track. I would be really surprised if he won there. Lewis Hamilton to NASCAR? No, that's not happening. The Formula One drivers make a boatload of money. He ain't going anywhere. Elliott likely won't go 3 in a row because it's after Indy, it's Richmond. Yeah, that's probably likely. All bias aside, Elliott is the championship favorite. Yeah, it'd be hard not. He's got a 100-point lead in the most wins. He'd have to be the favorite. Am I going to buy the dirt diecast cars? Well, I still get a lot of the sprint cars, so I still have all the sprint cars coming in. I don't keep them all. I just keep the Casey Kane one. I keep one of each Casey Kane racing car. Like, I have a collection of Kane cars or Kane racing cars. But I don't keep the rest of them. So I still have one of each coming in, for video and stuff, and then I put it on the website. But yeah, I don't keep them all for sure. Yawns loudly. Hey, that's me, man. That's when I record my videos at midnight. Do I have Kyle Busch 2008 Southern 500 win? I do. I have actually an Elite of that car. Don't remember where I found it, but I remember I found it, and then I had an ARC at the time, so I found an Elite and got rid of the ARC, and pretty sure I didn't even have to spend any money. I think it was like a trade almost. I got lucky and found it cheap. Let's see here. I'm the professional, by the way. The Elliott win is on the Elliott store, so apparently they must be offering it. I haven't heard anything for sure. Do I have a raced used sheet metal? There was a Jeff G. driven hood. I have some raced sheet metal. I have a Casey Kane door. I also have a Casey Kane hood. Now I don't know if the hood's a raced version. It's an authentic hood, but it might have been off a show car or something. So it's all decaled right. It just there's no certificate or anything that tells me for sure what it came off of. I do remember the corn guy, by the way. He'd always ask me to say corn, which, by the way, sweet corn season is in. Yes! Oh, I love sweet corn. You can tell my voice is going away, too. But, yeah, so there is that, and then I have 2 Kane sprint car wings. I have a Darren Pittman wing and a Cody Dara wing. So I have 2 wings, a door number, a hood, and then 2 other panels that I'm actually going to be getting rid of just because I don't really have a good way to hang them. When is AJ's Indy coming? Got mine released today and got to see it in person too. I actually have an Indy win. It's going to get reviewed this week, but mine is not coming in until a few weeks because I got the dual autograph version. So yeah, I have that one coming, but I do have the regular version in for review. It's just not quite there yet. So yes, that one will be getting reviewed this week. So stay tuned. Oh, you were the corn guy. Okay, I remember that. I'll say it again. Sweet corn season's here. I'm from Iowa. Corn, whatever. But yes, it is sweet corn season, which I'm excited about. I love sweet corn. I'm an Iowan who likes corn. Are we all surprised? Let's see here. Everyone's acting like the third place finisher hasn't won before due to a DQ, but Cal Naughton Jr. Is wanting a word. Yeah, I agree. Say I can't find any Moffitt Xfinity diecast, but would you be on board for a truck, 124th race version of maybe his 2020 Martinsville truck? 2020 Martinsville. Oh, the Destiny Homes car? Yeah, if you're just trying to customize what's a clean version, yeah, you're not going to have any luck because if he wins, they usually make the race version if they're making it at all. I don't know. I don't really know about the 2020. I didn't like that race. He ran well all day and then got wrecked. So, yeah, I only look for like unique cars or wins. Let's see. If you were trying to customize a car by like kind of beating it up or tearing it up, I would say try to customize a. Oh, here we go. Austin Cindric Car Shoppers. It's the pink car, and I don't remember what race he won, but do a custom of that car. But whatever because nobody's made that car yet that I've seen, and I know he won at least one race in that pink Car Shoppers car. So. Make a race version of that, and I will definitely take a look at it because I would love to do custom race win review. I hope Lionel offers Chandler Smith's truck. It was pretty caved in. The rear end, yeah, I don't think they will. Chandler Smith I don't think he's had anything made since his Bristol win last year, so I could be wrong, but yeah. The Iowa invocation for the IndyCar race was incredible. It really was nice. Just I don't know. The whole race was just so fun to be at. It was such a great event. The flyover, I literally was looking. I was like, "Where's the flyover?" And then I just see 5 guys parachuting in over the grandstand, and it was so windy. I could see them kind of struggling to get landed right. Like some guy had to take a really aggressive dropping rate, and then he kind of had to smooth it out right at the end when he landed. But he was heading like straight for the ground. But yeah, it was kind of neat to have that for the flyover or whatever you want to call it. National Anthem was a 10 out of 10. She did a great job. I think it was some American Idol winner or something, but she nailed it, and it was just a really fun race. A lot of energy. It felt really good to be there. Let's see here. I went and got a life, so I'm not entertaining myself by torturing me. That's all right. You still got John Deere Jesus, so you still got that, kind of farm tractor thing going, right? Chase is 1 win away from tying Casey Kane. Wow, that's really something. Having one of my drivers pass my other favorite, my all-time favorite, It's like I knew it's going to happen because Chase is just better. I mean, Casey Kane had to be really fast to win races. Like he just didn't. I don't know what the word would be. He was not aggressive enough to just squeeze into places he shouldn't to snag wins. Like, if we're honest, at Nashville, if Chase doesn't go 3 wide around the top and absolutely rim ride on one of those restarts, gaining him like, I don't know, 10, 12 spots, that was not something Kane used to do. He didn't just send it up on the high side and just start flying around cars. He was very methodical. That's why he won the Coke 600 so many times. Long race, methodically work your way to the front and get there. He was notorious for winning 500, 600-mile races. He did not win a lot of short races. He was much better in the long races. His last one was kind of fluky, but hey, I'll take it. I have a possible trade proposition. I made a 3D printed race pin stand. I will trade 5 for a COT wing, but it wouldn't be possible for a little bit. Hey, I'd be all right with that. I'd love to see how they work, because I actually have a couple questions for you. Here's a pin, and there's 2 pins on the back, so I need to find a way to get that to stand up, because it doesn't even lay correctly. Like, if I lay it down next to the car, it lays on its side. I want it to sit like either this or this, but instead it sits on its side. So if you can figure out a way to fix that, well, let me know. Let's see here. Just made a Kyle Busch 2021 Bristol Dirt Elite. I saw that on Facebook. I think I saw you post pictures, so I don't know for sure. But when one of the groups I'm in, I saw that car, so I think I saw the one you made. Do I have Casey Kane or Casey's Quaker State number 5 car? I have his 2013 and his Coke 600 win. I don't think I got his 2012 though, as far as the clean version. Did Hendrick win Phoenix Spring Race in the pink? I know that car had the blue paint all over the passenger side. He might have. I know he did win in it once, and it might have been Phoenix. Do I have the 2021 Roval pin? I do, actually. Good news for you. I also have extras on the website, I believe. So if you're looking for them, let me know. But I have it. I can't find these boxes. Where the heck did I put everything? Tell you I'm getting old, I tell you. Right there. So that's the 2021 Roval pin, and I think I have extras on the website. So if you want to check them out, they're probably between $10 and $12. I usually try to keep them around that range. I bump them up to like 15 if it's a rare pin that like I've never had before. Something that I had to find hard through an eBay search or something, then I might make it a little bit more, but usually I try to keep them at the same price they are at the track. Oh yeah, I'm going to school for diesel mechanics so I can work on tractors. Hey, if you're signed up through Deere, I believe they pay for your schooling. You just have to work for them for like 5 years, and then they just consider it even. Like, so there's a contract where they pay for all your schooling, but you have to work there for 5 years, which, hey, that's worth it. All right. Kane was also in basically the test car. No, they did put good effort into their cars. The problem was once he lost Kenny Francis, they were just... that was not a good race team without Kenny Francis. Elliott doesn't go up the middle. When Truex got moved up by LaJoie, then Elliott probably doesn't win Atlanta. Exactly. Like, he had to squeeze his way in there. That's a spot where Kane would kind of check up, and kind of let Truex back down. Elliott stuffs his nose in there and goes and wins a race. So, that's kind of what separates the two of them. Let's see here. Grind one of the pins off with a sander. No, I don't really want to if I don't have to, because it would be cool if there was some little stand that I could just pin it to, some little like not paper, but something really light and flimsy-ish that I could just stick the pins through, and then it stands up like this. Like, it'd be really cool to have your die cast and a pin just sitting right like this with the logo of the race. But, yeah, I'd be interested. Let's see here. I don't know what you're talking about there, Tokyo Dreams. They're a race win? What do I need? I mean, I like race wins, but yeah. What happened to the face reveal at 3,000? I think it was 5,000. I thought I always said that the face reveal was at 5. I did a collection at 3,000. I think the face is at 5. Yeah, I actually want to get a webcam so I can stream races. So I might do it at 5, but the biggest thing is I don't have a good setup. So it's not like I have something against it. It's more just like I don't have a good, like, here's the best way to put it. My current setup is literally a folding table with cars all over it. So until I have kind of a nice studio type thing or a good webcam area, that's the only thing really holding me back. Yeah, you see my post. It was on the custom corner page. I just sold that Kyle Busch dirt car like 10 minutes ago. Okay, yeah, so that's definitely it. Just made a stand for it. Okay, hey, I definitely take a look at it because I would love to see. Because if it works well enough, I would want to offer them on my website personally. I'd love to be able to get a bundle of them, like a big bundle at one time, that I could then offer on the website for, because I sell pins too. So I'd love to have that. Nah, private thing outside of Deere gives me more options if that doesn't work out because I'm still a little young to be setting into one job. No, I totally get it, man. You're never done learning. Even when you settle into one job, you're still, I mean, heck, just this week I learned how to do a lot of stuff related to a Prius head gasket. Got that all taken apart, took the head in, got it machined. I'm not even a mechanic. Never did 1 ounce of mechanic work at all until I turned, I don't know, 20 and bought my first car. Or I shouldn't say bought my first car. I bought my first personally owned car. I had a half and half in high school, but that's when the first time I could start working on my own car, and now I'm doing a head gasket. Fold a piece of paper and a pin to it on one side. It's got to be heavier than that, though. That's the thing. Let's see here. On one of these streams before Nashville, I said how I was worried about the next couple races, and man, I was wrong. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. I don't know why you have been worried. Well, I shouldn't say that because Nashville was kind of a surprise. Atlanta was kind of a surprise. The road course was not a surprise at all. New Hampshire was a surprise, and Pocono was a surprise. Like, this was Elliott's weakest tracks, was the ones we just went to. And if he's doing this well at his bad tracks, I am actually a little worried for what we're going to see this fall. Because let me remind you what's in the playoffs. Martinsville, one of his better tracks. Homestead is a so-so track. But then you still have Texas is a so-so track. But let's go to round 1. Darlington, meh. But then you have Kansas, pretty good. Bristol, he's pretty solid at Bristol. Second round, you have Dega, total crapshoot. Texas, total crapshoot, really. And then the Roval, he's pretty good at the Roval. Third round, you have, let's see here. Homestead, he's decent at Homestead. Las Vegas, pretty good there. Pretty good at Martinsville. And then he's really pretty solid at Phoenix. That's one of his better tracks. So he's got an opportunity to win this championship for sure if he keeps running like this. Can we get an F for Hamlin's daughter? Yeah, poor girl. Honestly, if I'm Elliott, just let her keep the flag. She's got more memories tied to it than he ever will. I mean, I get it from some points if he likes to have all of his flags or something, but I don't know. That's one of those where it's just like, there's too many memories attached to it. Darlington, he should have won both 2020 races. Yeah, not both. There were 3. He should have won 2 of the 3. But yeah, he should have won those. Frankly, I think he had a really good car last year. I don't know if it was a race-winning car, but he had a good one in the fall race and got wrecked, or maybe wrecked himself. I don't remember for sure which one it was, but I think he's solid. I don't think Darlington is one of his better tracks, but he's okay. Just pulley swapped my mower and it goes 23 miles an hour. That seems excessive. I'm not gonna lie. Just sent photos on Instagram. Oh, okay. I'll have to take a look at them when I get off the stream here. This may sound dumb, like a dumb question, but how come NASCAR had never run the boot configuration at the Glen? And why do they not run night races at Sonoma even though it has lights? First of all, I did not know Sonoma had lights. That's actually incredible. I would love to see that. Actually, I did change my mind. I know exactly why they shouldn't run night races at Sonoma, because road courses are already hard to see, and it's just not a great place for a road race, personally. Or I shouldn't say a night race. If I did a night race, it would be Daytona road course. Now, the other part of your question was why they don't run the boot. They don't run the boot for the same reason that people didn't like all of Road America. It's too long. When the lap gets that long and doesn't really add that much, like, energy to the racing, you're almost just better off running it as is. Like, in other words, leave Watkins Glen as a 90-lap race on its current configuration, or it's going to be like a 40-lap race on this other configuration that doesn't add much. Same thing to the carousel, which, by the way, I will say, I think the carousel was better. I think the carousel layout is better. It creates an extra true passing zone where the other one doesn't have. The other one doesn't. This current layout does not have a passing zone. They say, oh, you could kind of have a passing zone. No, not with this car. This car does better in corners. It needs the carousel. But yeah, Watkins Glen, the reason they're going to not want to do the boot is cautions would take so much longer, less racing, less, honestly, it's harder to get camera views for fans. So it's just kind of an overall better fan experience to leave it as is. Plastic Fork says, I have a 2005 GMC Sierra, and it had a cracked cylinder head, so I took it apart and completely rebuilt the engine, and I threw a big cam in it while I was at it. Um, yeah, honestly, I don't know much about those because mine's a little one, but um, because my cylinder head also has all the timing chain and all the valves above it, so I would have to probably replace the whole head in order to do any of that. But it's an inline four too, so if you have a V, then obviously that's a little different. Let's see. Chase could probably just buy a flag off of eBay or something. Yeah, exactly. Elliott won 2014 Darlington. He did, but it was more a little fluky. He had fresh tires. Literally, Matt Kenseth got loose, slid left, and got out of his way. And so, if we're being completely honest, that 2014 Darlington win, the seas literally parted for him. He didn't really do anything spectacular. He just held his line, raced a good line, and then literally, even Elliott Sadler, like on the last lap, Elliott Sadler gets really loose coming out of turn 2 and slides off the wall, and Chase just continues forward, and then he's now got the preferred groove going into 3 and 4, like instead of having to try and squeeze it on the bottom. So, he was still running well, but the seas really parted for him at the end of that race. Instead of a NASCAR electric series, let's get a big rig series. Yeah, I think I saw some Peterbilts. Man, those things freaking fly on that big rig series. If I can send a photo on stream, can I? I don't think it will. You'll just have to send it through Instagram or Facebook or email or whatever works. I have a lot of different options if you're looking to send that photo. But yeah, if I like the design and I think it works, I'll definitely inquire about it. So I'm not got to make sure it's if I wanted to offer them on my site, they got to be cheap enough that it's worth it. But I'd love to have a kind of real neat stand for the pins because I obviously have a lot of pins. If Chicago was still on the schedule in the playoffs instead of Texas, I'd say Elliott has a shot. Should have won 2017. Honestly, had a shot in 2019 before something happened. Honestly, 2016 is the one he should have won. 2016 Chicago, he literally was leading when a caution came out with like under 10 to go. Like it was his race to lose, and he lost it. 2017 Truex was the better car. It wasn't close. Like even though Elliott ran well that day, nobody was touching Truex. It just wasn't happening. There is now 13 Elliott 2022 124s. Next year is going to be hard. Well, the good news is if you're like me, you only get raced versions. So you're up to 5 raced versions with the Bristol dirt car, and then probably the Napa, A-Shock, and Hooters. So you're up to 8. If you get all of them, I am sorry for your loss. You know what? I got both throwbacks. I'm at 9, 10. Oof, it is going to be tough. And here's the worst thing. I also get Gregson cars. He's won 3 times. So that's getting even harder. Ouch. It's going to be an expensive year, boys. Buckle up. Yep, 2016. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Mainly because of Phoenix. I think Phoenix is Elliott. If he can get to Phoenix, he's got a good shot. He ran well there in the spring when Hendrick wasn't really at full speed yet. And if they get their stuff figured out by Phoenix, I could see Elliott having a second championship. I felt like we got robbed of a championship 4 appearance in 2019. Yeah, I don't. I think they just had trouble executing. I mean, he literally had issues at Martinsville and like Texas, I think, in just back-to-back races. He had a good car at Martinsville in 2019. Like he had a race-winning caliber car, but he just had that another issue, and you can only overcome so much. So I don't think he would have won a championship anyway, but he certainly would have had a chance to appear in it at least. 2019 was a tough year. As I said, he broke the axle at Dover, which he still was able to escape that round, but then he had the issue at Martinsville. I was like, well, that's a nail in the coffin. He had a good car that day, too. He flew through the field. But, yeah, I don't know. I think it helped him for 2020 to finally have a chance to perform under pressure. Also, I painted a Husqvarna, I think that's how they say it, Husqvarna inverted John Deere colors, and painted on it wrong deer. You deer people are all like... I don't know. I got a buddy. He does work on all his own stuff. All they run is John Deere, but even he admits that the Challenger combine, no, what is it called? The Kloss combine, it kicks everybody's butt. The Black Hole guy says, I don't dislike Elliott. I actually like him and buy his race win diecast. His fan base. Yes, it is his fan base that causes all the problem. They are the worst. I'm not gonna say the worst. They might be the worst. The the only fan base I would say is worse, and this would be more like worse at times, would be the actually, it's not even 2311. It's mostly like the non-paying attention Bubba crowd. Like, because there's Bubba fans out there that know how racing works and how he runs, and they're perfectly normal. But then there's the fans that are just like downright stupid. Like if you say Bubba's not going to win today because they're at Sonoma, and then they freak out because they think you're some type of like racist crazy person. It's like, no, Bubba's awful at road courses. He knows this. Like, it's not a surprise to Bubba that road courses aren't his thing. But those people, they're a different breed because they literally don't think of it in terms of racing. That fan base drives me nuts. And it's literally just because it's like you're supposed to be a racing fan. It's like a football fan that just screams that the Dallas Cowboys are the best team, and then you're like, well, they're like 4-11. They're not very good this year. Like, objectively, they're not having a good year, and they'll just scream that the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl. It's like, okay, you clearly pay no attention to the actual sport. You're just screaming for fun. Those fans drive me nuts. But no, otherwise, I don't think there's a lot of toxic fan bases. I think it's just fun to have them clash a little bit. But most of fans just like to cheer on their guy and, boo the rivals and stuff. I think uneducated, dumb fans are the worst, no matter what driver they're a fan of. Crashed in all 3 rounds. Oh, that's right, because he also had that crash at Phoenix from a flat tire. Technically, he didn't crash in Martinsville, but yeah, he was out. Dover, we were in for a top 5 for like 10 laps, and then the engine blew. Yeah, he was good at all the... He ran well. He just had horrible luck. Kloss is really fuel efficient, but I don't know. If I'm correct, John Deere has a bigger head. They might, but Kloss can go so much faster, it's not close. Because I think the speed difference was like the difference between 5 and 10 or something. Like, it was, if you were to race them, a smaller head can still do an entire field faster than a Deere. Because it's a speed thing. Like, it can process faster. That's where the Kloss was so much better. As I said, he worked on both of them, and he had said that, yeah, Kloss was the better. But they're really expensive for a reason, too, so. Remember the black and yellow Napa car? Let's bring that back. I have it, actually. I'm not going to lie, though. I may have to be selling some Elliott cars here soon. Honestly, I just need to narrow down my collection. I have way too many cars sitting around. And, I don't know. I like to having the Chase Elliott cars, but there's so many of them. Like, he runs so many paint schemes, I can't keep up. Did I see Marco Andretti broke his wrist yesterday in the SRX race? I saw he hurt it. I did not know he broke it. Man, that sucks. I mean, I'm glad he got at least he has the battle scars for winning the championship, even if it did take Newman out. Jimmy had a great run at Iowa today. He did. He was really good yesterday, too. Like I said, I was watching Jimmy after he had that single car spin, and I was watching him race. He was running a lane higher than anybody else on the racetrack, and I saw him put that car up in places that made other guys kind of check up and let him. He basically got this big run and got around him, and he drove from 16th to 4th on that tire run. And that's not strategy based. He literally just drove around the outside all the way up to 4th position before pit stops started. And right when pit stops were starting, right before the pit stops, he passed Colton Herta, which was the car that had fresh tires in front of him. So basically a bunch of cars stayed out, a bunch of cars pitted. He pitted because he had spun, so he had flat spotted tires and whatnot. But when he got back on the track with the newer tires, he and a bunch of others kind of started moving through the field. But he passed Scott Dixon, who had the same tires as him. Colton Herta had the same tires as him. And there was one other guy, I think it was McLaughlin, had the same tires as him. And he passed all of them. And he was the highest running at the end of that run on those tires. And I knew at that point, he's doing pretty good. By the end of the race, he really fell off because he burned the whole right rear off. Really long tire stint, and he just burned it off too quick, and it really hurt him. Like, he literally failed backwards, I don't know how many seconds I would say it is, but he had a quarter of a straightaway on Newgarden with 5 to go, and he ended up lapped and a half straightaway back. Like, he lost so much time in the last 5 laps of that race because his tires were just totally gone. Still can't believe Chase won. Me neither. I'm still wondering, though, how that appeal will go. Newman got robbed of the SRX championship, but we can laugh that he has more championships than Denny Hamlin and Mark Martin. Yeah, I think I was kind of rooting for Marco. I thought Marco had run better throughout the season, even though he hadn't won a race or a feature. But Marco was really entertaining to watch. I would love to see Marco in a truck or Xfinity car sometime. He did great. Um, it's the Mercedes of tractors and combines. It's yeah, if you would consider Mercedes to be like fast and bulletproof or whatever. I don't know. I don't pay attention to cars that much, but I just know that they're really fast, really efficient. Not they're not the best to work on. I know he said that too, though. Oh, Andretti has more championships. Yes, I would agree there. Any idea why all the Elliott wins are still at MSRP? I thought since he won the title, they'd get more expensive quick, but I see them at big discounts. They were highly produced in 2020, so those are all staying fairly low because they just produced a bunch of them. But just like every other car of his, eventually they dry up, and we'll see what they do from there. But I don't know. I think, honestly, 2019 is a perfect example. The Roval car was cheap. I mean, like, you could get an ARC for 30, 40 bucks. And then all of a sudden, once they sold out, car's over 100 bucks now. Don't ask me why. Doesn't make sense to me, but it's just how it is for some reason. Today's Denny Win diecast would have looked so good with the confetti and the damage. Anyway, keep up what you're doing, Race Craze. I enjoy your videos and hearing your opinions. I'm off to bed now. Enjoy the night, Black Hole Guy. Have a good one. As a Colton Herta being my favorite IndyCar driver, it's pain. Colton had a rough weekend. Once he stalled on pit road, I was like, oh crap, there goes his day. Man, I'm telling you, those are some good races, though. That was a good IndyCar race. It was fun. I do appreciate you doing these live streams. I have been watching for a while, and these are the first time. Oh, and this is my first time interacting. Keep doing your thing, and thank you for being genuine. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I like to put these on, especially when I've gone to an event and just. I don't know, it's harder for me to make race reaction videos and stuff like that now because I want the quality to be better and I just don't have the time to put into editing and junk, so I still do one single shot. But I would love to eventually be able to have time to really look into how to do that and make better quality videos, but for now, I'll just continue to do what I do. He had a rough weekend. He did. Colton had that was a rough weekend. Honestly, Rossi had a worse weekend. My gosh, they couldn't get that 27 to do anything. That was a bad car. Who else had a really rough weekend? I mean, Newgarden, obviously, he wins yesterday, which was nice, but then he crashes out of the lead today, which is tough, and then he passed out after the race and had to be helicoptered to a hospital, so holy cow, that turned around quick. It sounds like he's all right, awake and alert, and all was all good there, but kind of just a scare where he passed out, and I think he hit his head or something when he fell. And so I hope he's all good. As I said, it sucked when he crashed. He actually crashed right in front of me. But man, he was a rocket ship these last 2 days. The Elliott Champ car. Oh, here we go. The Elliott Champ car will be the car of massive quantity, which no one wants to sell. So when they do come on the market, they will be expensive. Maybe. Again, it really comes down to how many are made and who wants them for stuff. Like, I have no idea what cars are going to be rare and what ones aren't. I've personally found that generally the ones that you think are going to be worth nothing tend to somehow be worth a lot. Like the Jeff Gordon Martinsville car. The first time I bought it, this was when I first kind of got into or reintroduced into diecast collecting. I bought it for like 30 bucks. Now that car's like 300. Like, I have no idea why these cars literally will be getting sold for pennies on the dollar, and then out of nowhere they'll just shoot up like a rocket. Alex Bowman would be proud. I made a shirt with Dawsonville Pool Room's caption. Oh, that's nice. Alex Bowman would be proud. He's a good t-shirt guy. Yeah, Chase dad won Pocono 20 years after his dad. Well, that's pretty cool then. Yeah, Bill was pretty good at Pocono. He won in 2002, if I remember right. Rank these: NASCAR, F1, IndyCar, Xfinity truck. So, in terms of what? Like, here's the best way I could say it. If I was ranking by driver skill to be in the series, it's hard not to go IndyCar and F1 at the top because they do not let you suck. If you suck, you do not get on the track. But if I was going to what's more entertaining to watch, the most entertaining racing series to watch is the Xfinity series. After that, probably the Cup series. Then I would say F1 IndyCar truck. And that's mostly just because I have no vested interest in the truck. I think the biggest problem with trucks is they just run each other over. Like, look, the trucks can put on good racing like they did at Mid-Ohio with Kligerman and Zane Smith. But unfortunately, they have such a reputation of just destroying each other. I literally have lost my favor with them. So it's not that I dislike the truck series. I just, if they could clean up their racing, they would be higher on the list. But unfortunately, like how many times I've seen people just pile drive each other, it's a big turnoff. All right, let's see here. Here's my order: 1 NASCAR, 2 IndyCar, 3 Xfinity, 4 F1, 5 truck. Yeah, pretty close. I said I actually had Xfinity ahead of it, but that's just because I think Xfinity series is superior for racing product. Let's see here. I just sent reference photos of to you on Instagram for the Hendrick Car Shop cars, so check them out after the live stream. Sure, will do. I did see them pop in here, so I'll take a look as soon as I get off the live stream and see what I see. I missed when the ARCs were 50. I just spent 100 on a new on a new ARC. Oh, at New Hampshire. Okay. Huh. I was like, what? I didn't know they were going that expensive. But yeah, at the track, it's always expensive. That's why, honestly, I mean, I'll say it. When I buy stuff at the track, it's literally so I can make a video on it and then sell it on eBay, because people, for some reason, will spend a bunch of money on a car that, come out just a little bit early. I don't really get it, but I'm not going to complain. It helps me pay for my trip to the track. And I get to make a video out of it. I get to kind of have an exclusive first look at a car, and then I get to sell it and get all my money back. So I don't have a problem with it. It is weird though why people won't just wait a few weeks and get it for the normal price. But then also, I don't know why the tracks have to upcharge so much. Honestly, that's the thing that was kind of nice too. Hy-Vee had a bunch of trailers at the Iowa Speedway, and they were selling IndyCar diecast for literally like almost no markup from the regular MSRP. So it was really, really cool that, I mean, their 164ths were like $7, $8, something like that. 124ths were, I think, 50 or 60. Like, Hy-Vee just, they brought a bunch of them there and sold them for what you would buy them for anywhere else. If you don't suck, then they don't let you on the track. If it comes to Latifi, Jimmy on anything except Iowa and the Indy Oval. No, I would agree there. I think, let's be honest here. Jimmy Johnson's a 7-time NASCAR champion. Like, he has a pass to race on those road courses, because everyone's kind of under the impression you've never raced this before, but you're here because you are so good in another series. We are like welcoming you here. And let me say this: IndyCar is so lucky to have Jimmy Johnson. I saw the autograph line. I tried to get two cars signed this weekend from Jimmy Johnson. There was an autograph session. I was in line at 6:15. The autograph session was from 6 to 7. Me and a massive chunk of the line never got to get a car signed because there was literally that long a line. I was there at 6:15. That was 15 minutes after the whole thing started, when I got in line. And like I said, they had to literally cut the line way up ahead of us and just tell us all to go home because they didn't have enough time to do it the rest. Now, that being said, I still think IndyCar, it's like you got to do a little bit better on your planning. You can't have someone sit there for 45 minutes and just tell them to go home. But that being said, Jimmy Johnson draws a crowd. So IndyCar is very lucky to have him. I think he's really good for their sport. It's because you get the ARCs at the tracks. Yeah, I don't. I also get ARCs at the tracks, so that helps too, because I can just review it and get rid of it because I'm an elite person. Let's see. Favorite driver in these series. Mine are Elliott and IndyCar Herta, Gragson Xfinity, F1 Leclerc, Truck Zane Smith. All right, yeah, I'll do that. So my favorite drivers in Cup Series would be Elliott. IndyCar would be. Who would my IndyCar favorite be? IndyCar would probably be Rossi. Xfinity would be Gragson / Moffitt. I kind of root them both on. If they go head-to-head, I'd probably pick Moffitt over Gragson, but I watch them both and root for both. F1 would be Verstappen. I love the intensity that he races with. Like, my gosh, the guy goes 100 miles an hour every single race. He gets every ounce out of the car. It's incredible. And then in trucks, I would say Carson Hocevar. Tents outside the track are better than merch haulers. 100%. Bristol is one of the best tracks you can go to for that, too. Winner, Joe Gibbs are racing cheaters. Let's see here. I like how diecast collecting is so expensive we can refer to the base price as MSRP. Well, actually, sorry, it's not technically MSRP. It would technically be considered MAP. It's called a minimum advertised price. It's literally a rule that us diecast sellers have to go by if we're because I'm I have a legal business and all that relies around diecasts. I have a minimum advertised price. Yes, it's a minimum, which means I can't list it any lower than a specific number. So I can list it higher. A car comes out, I can list it for $200. But when it first comes out, like, let's just say this car here. It's a regular metal chassis Kyle Larson Nashville car. Minimum price is $14.99. I cannot advertise the car any lower than that. Every price I advertise must say $14.99 or higher. That's a rule, and it's good. It keeps the big guys that can afford thousands of different diecasts at once and have a big store from just dropping the price, making a penny per car, and then running everyone else out of town. So it's supposed to help with competition. But that being said, that's how that works. Like, that's why everybody runs at the same price, because that's that minimum number you have to hit, and obviously you don't want to go too much higher because otherwise no one will want to get from you. So that's why we always try to stay as close to that number as possible. And with inflation, that's why shipping has been so much harder to stay free like it used to. Okay, I get Verstappen, but do you think his title from last year was legit? So I would say, I think, what race was it? Abu Dhabi is probably the race you're referring to. I think Abu Dhabi was a very sketchy race. I don't like the way that race ended, honestly. That being said, I do think he was the deserving champion, because there were multiple occasions throughout the year that absolutely floored me as somebody who was just getting into F1 and just kind of watching for the first time. Like, there were moments where Hamilton would just make a mistake or, drive and do things and get, like, no penalty for it. And Verstappen would get penalties for the same things. And so that was stuff to me that was just, I couldn't understand it. Like, there's the one race where Max got wrecked off the front end of Hamilton, and Hamilton just went a little bit wider in the corner on that specific arc and kind of slid up into him, and they were both in the racing line. It was a tight racing groove, but it was like they did nothing for it. It was like a no penalty. They considered a racing incident. And I'm like, okay, I guess if that's what they consider it. But then you have other different rules where, he would run in hard to a corner, very similar to what, Hamilton did, ran hard into the corner to try and get the lead, and there would be slight contact, and all of a sudden he's got a 5-place grid penalty or something. It's like, what? I don't get it. Like, the penalties, I will say, F1 is so bad with, is they just make judgment calls, and they're not very consistent. And obviously, Abu Dhabi was a perfect example of that, where it's like, what? You're going to let him go, then you're not going to let him go, then you're going to, do this? Like, there was certainly plenty of room for the FIA, but I mean, if you look at the full body of work, Verstappen was the better driver last year. He had the better season, outside of how many times he got completely DNF'd, sometimes completely by, fluke. Sometimes he had penalties that hurt him, but, it was honestly only Hamilton's consistency that even kept him in that fight, which is why he's the best. All right, let's see here. Charlotte has an amazing vendors and all the shops, like Scott's Collectibles, in the Lionel retail store. Yeah, North Carolina's a market I will never touch. You can't compete with them at the source. But this is okay. As I said, I have my little area up here. Hey, man, Bristol is the best for diecast vendors outside the track. And, I mean, T-shirts, everything. They've got, and the coolest thing is they got old ones, too. Like, you can get a 2-year-old T-shirt that's no longer relevant for, like, $5. It's like, well, that's fine. I have, I love having grubby racing shirts. I'll go buy 10 shirts for $50 and just have a bunch of fun shirts to wear. I'm going to go do something stupid. See you later. Well, have fun there, John Deere. Jesus. Let's see. Do I know where you can find a Kyle Busch 2008 Daytona win? Just watch eBay. Just type in 2008 Kyle Busch Daytona win diecast and search it like once every 3 days, and just eventually one's going to pop up for you. Honestly, that's the best way to do it. Verstappen never got penalized for Brazil, though when Max just shoved him off. Let's see, Saudi Arabia, Max brake check. Lewis was deserving, but so was Lewis. No, I think that Saudi Arabia one was one also I thought was weird, because it was like Max passed Hamilton, and then they ordered him to give the spot back, which was like, okay, I think it was like he cut the corner or something, something like that. And it was like, okay, he's got to give the spot back. So he pulls over on the straightaway and cuts his speed, and then Hamilton slows up. And so he cuts it even more, and Hamilton slows up again. It's like, okay, look, if you slow up that much, and he slows up behind you, I feel like you've done your job. He chose not to go around you. You shouldn't have to slow up, because theoretically, Hamilton could just sat there until he was a full-blown stop, and then all of a sudden they can be passed by 3 guys and cost him 3 grid spots. Like, that was a chicken game that I don't like those games and the political games. I'm not a fan of it. I just want the guys to go out and race. And so, It's like this year I saw there was something about the porpoising with Mercedes, and they wanted to get like an extra modification made so they would have extra opportunities to basically make their car better. And it's like, no, you don't get to change the rules. So again, I don't like Formula One that much. I think it's kind of dumb that the same guys are always winning every race because they have the best drivers in the best cars, and because they can't really change their car from week to week, they're basically already almost perfected when they get to the racetrack. It kind of, I don't know. It doesn't, like, if you say Verstappen and Leclerc win, it's not even a surprise. Like, I think outside of those two, there's only two other winners this year. Like, it's not it's not really that fun if you're a guy who's a fan of anyone that's not those two. Let's see. My favorite drivers in racing: Cup Series: Jones slash Hendrick slash Chastain, Xfinity: Barry, Trucks: Rhodes, Arca: Smith. Oh, Sammy Smith. Okay, yeah, he's in Xfinity sometimes. Indy: Newgarden, F1: Ricardo, IMSA. I don't even know who that is. The driver that crosses the line, the finish line, should win. So if you don't lead a lap, you can't win. I mean, I think Brett Moffitt won the Iowa race by not leading a lap. But again, if you don't have a legal car, you probably should technically have never been allowed on the track in the first place. It sounds like to me, whatever the illegal modification was hidden under the wrap, and they don't cut the wrap off until after the race when they're doing inspection for obvious reasons. So, I mean, the first car to cross the finish line with a legal car won the race by their standard, but I guess we'll see. We'll see what the appeal says. So, speaking of overpaying for a diecast, I found at the track I just spent $45 for a 164 Next Gen Elliott. What? Why did you spend that? They're going to be out in like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. Patience, my children. We shall all receive our diecast in good time. That's a lot, man. Honestly, I'd say it's a lot, but I remember when I got the next gen cars from Gateway, people were bidding like $60 on them things. It's crazy. The Xfinity race this weekend might have been my favorite one of the year. It's certainly one of the best Pocono ones. I mean, I thought Charlotte was amazing. That was a cool race, and the racetrack just put on a heck of a show. Will they make the Ty Gibbs Cup car? Probably not. Monster Energy doesn't like anything, so we only need pre-race inspection, drivers pushing the envelope, but getting their car in the race should take advantage. We need more innovation. Well, the problem is NASCAR specifically said they don't want innovation. So, like I said, they basically say don't touch this part, and they touched the part and then hit it under the wrap. So that's basically why the penalty was what it was. Now, I don't know if there's any more penalties coming with it. Is it just a DQ, or are they going to get like a bigger penalty for modifying? Because remember, Roush Fenway got a 100-point penalty. So are they going to get a big old penalty on top of this? I guess we'll see. NASCAR Fan 04 says, I found a 2005 Stewart Brickyard win, a Moments car autographed for $7. Wow, that's crazy. I also got a race pin from that year with chunks of the brick, or chunk of brick in it, and a lug nut from that race. Wow, were you at the race? That sounds like something really cool from like being at the race. But either way, it's pretty neat. I have I have the Elite raced version. I don't have the Memories car where they have all the pictures. I like the raced versions. Went to a vintage store the other day. Got a race to win 2002 Dale Earnhardt Daytona Busch win with a case and a collectible CD for $17. Nice grab, especially when you can find them at like antique stores and stuff. My favorite drivers are simple. Any Chevy racer across the three major series, except for Chase. Well, that's a bummer. IndyCar, I do not watch. And Formula One, men's... What? Oh, he retired. I was going to say, I was like, who is that? Because I have not watched, historically, any Formula One. So, where do you get Kyle Busch's 2008 Darlington win diecast with the Indiana Jones on it? I don't remember where I got it. I know when I did end up selling that car, it sold on eBay. But I think I got that one from a guy selling a bunch of Elites. He had like a bunch of race to win Elites, and I offered him like a bunch of money. Like we're talking in the thousands for a big chunk of them, like 8, 9, 10 different cars. And so it included that one. It included like another Elite race win that was pretty rare. Like I think it was Brad Keselowski Bristol. So there was some big... there were some big Elites in that one. That's how I found the Elite. But the ARC I found at a pawn shop. So sometimes you just stumble across it. But like I said, if you just search eBay, sometimes things will pop up. And here's the thing that's crazy. Go type in Chase Elliott Homestead Elite on eBay and hit sold listings and look back. Somebody sold that car for $150 like 2 months ago or maybe a month ago. I don't know. But somebody out there bought Chase Elliott's Homestead car for $150 because they listed it as a buy it now, didn't know what they had, and then they bought it. So I'm telling you, sometimes you just got to keep your eyes peeled and things will pop up. All right, let's see here. It's not his style to troll people on Twitter like it is Hamlin's, but don't you think Chastain's Twitter account should post something like P33 with then a scratch on it and then P31 penciled out? Honestly, I think it'd be really funny. I saw a picture. It was just Chastain holding a Dairy Queen cup. So just Chastain holding a cup that said DQ. That's funny. If he just posted that, funny as heck. Did I see the Monster Jam Walmart cars that have stock cars with them? Really? Gravedigger, Harvick. I did not. I remember a while back there used to be a monster car or like a monster truck base that you could just put any car on top of and it would just like cover the wheels up and then it would make any regular car into a monster truck. Chase Elliott 501st. That's what it says. Most heartbreaking finish. I have some 2022 Bristol Dirt, 2021 Clash, Pocono. Or sorry, there's so many more, but I was more than devastated after them. My most devastating race, 2019 Bristol Night Race. Having to watch Matt DiBenedetto's lead crumble into nothing after Newman almost fenced him and put a hole in his nose, and then having Hamlin win and Matt DiBenedetto end up second, that was devastating. I literally was so mad. Not even at Hamlin, just mad that, how could that happen? Like, he was so good that night. He deserved to win. He did everything right, and Newman just put a hole in his nose because he wanted to race him to stay on the lead lap. Like, drives me nuts to this day. To this day, it makes me mad. So I was really devastated after that one. 2020 truck race, don't even get me started. There's a 10-12 minute rant on this channel somewhere from that race when I was so ticked off. Brett Moffitt had that championship won. Caution comes out because Dawson Cram walls himself. And then, the rest is history. Moffitt's crew leaves him out. Lost the championship. Just get rid of post-race inspection. If they don't catch it in pre-race, so be it. Well, then you can hide anything under the wrap. Like, I get it. They don't want to... If they cut the wrap off in pre-race, the car's going to look bad. So they'd have to inspect it before it leaves the shop and gets like skinned up. If Logano or Noah won that way, I wouldn't be happy because I would have missed the celebration. No, I mean, as an Elliott fan, I wish he would have had a chance to do a burnout and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, as I said, Brett Moffitt won a race at Iowa this way. And it's like, it's weird because you're like, I'm happy he won, but it's like, he didn't get to do any of the fun stuff I like to see. Someone upcharged me $50 for a Chase Elliott 2021 Coda diecast. Well, they can't upcharge you unless you agree to it. Because I can upcharge you $50. I won't even charge you $50. The Coda Win metal chassis came in today. Or not today, it came in. But you can see that's the metal chassis Coda Win. Like, I won't even upcharge you $50. You should just not agree to it, man. Wood Brothers will forever have 99 wins. Yeah, with Harrison Burton in the car, probably. Good evening, Alexander. Let's see, what is it? Stiegel? I always feel like I'm butchering your name, man. Found a Carl Edwards number 60 Save-A-Lot nationwide car. I actually have a box for that, oddly enough, but the 2011 Darlington win is in that from Regan Smith. Just a weird, like, tidbit. Hendrick should shoot confetti and do a burnout, send pictures to Lionel. Hey, I wouldn't even be mad. They pull out of the trailer and just dump confetti on it. Hendrick fan, at the vintage toy store. Okay. Oh, okay. That's where you found it. I see what you're saying. My grandfather hate burnouts. Honestly, I get it because it's such like, I get it from one point. They used to have to work on the cars. So doing a burnout was hard on motors, hard on parts. You know, it was hard on stuff. But the reason they do them now is because they're going to tear them all apart anyway. Like, it's not like they're going to take that motor and put it back in the car and run it again next week. Like, that's the reason they'll do a burnout now, is because they're literally going to take the car completely apart and reassemble it before the next race. Like, nobody runs the same stuff 2 weeks in a row anymore. So that's why burnouts are so much more common, because it's like there's nothing to preserve within the car. You're going to take the whole thing apart and put almost all new parts back in before you run it again. So why not chew it up a little bit? That's crazy said about the Dairy Queen because Suarez goes to Dairy Queen with his team the following week after a top 10. Could post a picture of him with them. I think that's where I saw the picture. I saw a picture of Chastain holding a DQ cup and thought it was hilarious. I was like, oh, he should post that. I assume you heard about Newgarden collapsing at the infield at Iowa. I did. It sounded like he was alert and awake, but it sounds like he may have hit his head potentially. Which again, it's like it was crazy because I saw him get out of the car and he did an interview and everything seemed fine. So I don't know if they said if it was dehydration or what it was, but I hope he's fine because gosh, he ran so well both days. I'd hate for him to have anything that hurts his chances of running next week. How many autographed cars do I have? Non-Elliott and Kane, because I assume they're all autographed. Actually, no. I don't get any Casey Kane wins autographed and any Chase Elliott wins autographed outside of this run here. Every other Chase win of mine, not autographed. To be honest, I only have 2 autographed Chase Elliott cars. That one and his Baja Blast liquid color. Casey Kane autographed. I have a couple that came that way, but otherwise I have his Indy Win color chrome and his 2011 custom car is autographed. So I don't have that many autographs from those guys. I haven't got to meet them very often. But otherwise I just whatever comes autographed. Sometimes I've been able to find like I have a Kyle Larson autograph, a Joey Logano, a Kevin Harvick. Those are all cars I've seen in person win. I've got a Eric Jones, just kind of random. Ryan Blaney, just kind of I don't know. It's not really like a set thing. I just kind of randomly find them. Do I know if they made Buescher's 2016 Pocono? They did not. When I got the Elliott 2020 Hooters, I got an autographed Elite, and I talked to a Chase Elliott store person. They said there were 3,000 people on the website at the time trying to get it. Yeah, the 2020 Hooters car was like a gold car. People were just going nuts for it. And then they made the same car in 2021, so all the demand died. I'd feel sad for Benedetto, but he's really making the wrong move at the wrong time. 2021 Dega, when he could have blocked but threw a bad block. He just went the wrong way. He went high and he shouldn't have. The help wasn't there. I don't know why the spotter told him to go high. That was just it was wrong. It was the wrong call. So yeah, that one sucked. The fall race getting DQ'd because of a blocking penalty was dumb, but it still sucked. Another way for NASCAR looking for the media attention, they DQ'd the first and second car. I mean, I don't think they would just make it up. Joe Gibbs is not going to let NASCAR just make up a penalty on him. I'd be interested to see what the race win diecast looks like. No burnout confetti will probably lead to a very boring car. Probably will. I honestly don't mind it. I like having at least one car that's not super confettied up or damaged up. Just because it's basically like, here's what the car looked like on the racetrack. So you take like the brand new one, when they released it at the beginning of the year. And then you take a really clean race version, you can see like, oh, by mid-season, they had made the numbers bigger, they had changed this logo, they had changed this logo. Just kind of neat little things. Like someday I'll have to go through and show you guys like the Kane Farmers car from 2013, the Pocono Elite versus the Standard. Like it's crazy. The Farmers logo is bigger, the number 5 on the door is bigger, the spoiler's not red, it's black. The deck lid has Hendrick cars on it versus blank. Like there's a ton of little differences which are kind of fun to see. Did I see the flip during the Xfinity race? I did. I actually had just gotten back to the room when that happened. So I turned it on, and all of a sudden, Jeb Burton's upside down. So that was kind of a wild wreck, the way he just popped up in the air like that. Every Elliott, when I get the Diecast and Auto Elite. Yeah, I can't get all autographed Elites. Those are expensive, especially from his site. But at least I still get a decent amount of them. Speaking of Hy-Vee, should sponsor Kyle Busch next year? No, I think Hy-Vee's money is better spent in the smaller teams and sponsoring races because that's where they can put their money at. Like they can do well at it. Imagine if Kroger sponsored I don't know where they're based out of, but if they sponsored a race where they're based out of and then just had Kroger essentially groceries as the concessions as all the stuff around the track. Like that's what Hy-Vee did. They had mini marts. Like not for us, it was in the camping area, but they had little Hy-Vee mini marts out of shipping containers where they could literally just go get like convenience items. They had Hy-Vee aisles, which literally allowed you to order like groceries to your camper. And I think it was DoorDash delivery, or maybe it was, I don't remember who delivered it. But I mean, they just had all this kind of neat stuff that they did. And so, as I said, it was absolutely a home run. And I cannot wait till next year because it sounds like they're doing it again. Will Larson's Phoenix win be the best all-around race win with the cake confetti and the rubber buildup from the burnout quarter panel? Probably one of the best. I think Denny Hamlin's Darlington's gonna look pretty good. Who else had a really good braced version? Yeah, I think the Phoenix one might be one of the best, honestly, looking at it. I can't think of who else would beat that. Oh, the Bristol one's gonna look good. Sounds like the Bristol one's coming in this week, so we'll see. But I think the Bristol one's gonna be pretty good. Bought 2019 Kyle Busch Bristol diecast for $300. Then it came, that came with a 2017 Busch Bristol. Then the day after, I got a Hendrick car next gen from Atlanta. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no, the 2019 Bristol car is a rare car for some reason. I mean, the back end was all beat up, so that was pretty cool, but I did not expect it to get as expensive as it did. And the 2017 car was caked with confetti, which was pretty cool, but I definitely prefer the 2019 car, I think, because I just like a clean car. I'm barely trying to get into Chase Elliott diecast cars. Trying for elite only and auto raced wins for the future. For the future garage. Any advice? And is it worth trying to get any different paint types? Wow. Honestly, I would say you're better off getting unautographed. And here's why. You're going to spend a lot of money for those autographs. And sure, they might hold the value. So if you got that much money to spend, but honestly, with raced versions, I find that the autograph only means something if it matters to you. Now again, if you're doing this more for the money side, yeah, sometimes the certified autographed cars are just worth a boatload more. So maybe it's worth it, but personally, I choose unautographed. But if you did that, I don't know how you're going to go about finding older ones, because like a factory autographed Chase Elliott Kansas win's going to run you over $400 probably. First win, probably going to run you also over $400, maybe $300. But you're going to have to spend a lot of money per car to get all of his wins from the past. And if you want them all in autographed elite, it's going to cost even more. So it's kind of a judgment call you got to make. But I'm just saying it definitely will be, it's definitely going to be pretty expensive. There we go. I'm live again. I don't know what happened there. Jimmy Johnson's 2009 Brickyard win is my favorite of mine for the very subtle race detail. Honestly, I love that car only because the paint scheme is so good. I love the Cobalt car. I feel Bubba wins Daytona, actually does decent in the playoffs. He could do good. I don't think he'll make the round of 8, but he could squeeze into the round of 12 if he just puts good races together in the first round. To be honest, he could actually make it to the second round because Talladega's in the second round, so he could theoretically bounce his way into the round of 8, but he's not getting to the Final Four. Flying through the air, and it's not good. Jeff Burton. Jeb Burton, not Jeff. That's a good point. Like how the 2020 Elliott cars, you can see the number size change. Not only see the number size change, in 2020 they changed from like a painted metallic blue to just a gloss blue, and it looks so much worse. I love the metallic blue way more than that silly gloss color. Just doesn't look as good. Like the Kelly Blue Book and Phoenix cars had bigger numbers and then the rest, they absolutely did. And I did not care for it. I love big door numbers. My dream race is an IndyCar race at the Roval. I live in North Carolina and don't have any IndyCar tracks near me. Honestly, I don't know why IndyCar isn't at the Roval. They tested one, and it would be a really good doubleheader because Charlotte has the capability to pack the stands, but I guess if you're trying to put Xfinity there too, it's probably tough. I don't know. Maybe if NASCAR decides to go back away from the Roval, they can still keep that configuration for IndyCar. Because Charlotte's a great speedway. I would like it if they still made the Denny Hamlin car, but call it a special DQ version, confetti and all. Honestly, I think fans wouldn't mind it. Fans that were at the race today might prefer that Hamlin car over another one. So having a, Checkers, not really car, I don't know, Checkers DQ car, Checkers, just kidding car, JK Checkers, something like that. But I mean, if it was me, I wouldn't mind it. If my guy won and then got DQ'd, I'd be like, I still saw him win. It still counts. Kroger is based out of Kentucky or Ohio. Well, so realistically, any racetrack in Kentucky or Ohio, Kroger could put on a big race like that and do the same thing at Hy-Vee. Now, I think Kroger's smaller than Hy-Vee, but you get my point. Like, that's how you activate your sponsorship. Just putting your logo on a car doesn't really activate your sponsorship. Like Kroger, they're on Stenhouse's car. Okay, cool. But I felt the impact of Hy-Vee's sponsorship this weekend because they did a lot. They did a whole lot of stuff. But chances are what they spent on this weekend, probably not even equivalent to a Cup sponsorship for a year. And it made a much bigger impact. Noah will be the icon of the Cup Series. Everyone needs to collect his cars that are on the fence about being on his fan base before those cars get unfindable. I don't know if he'll be the icon of the Cup Series. If I'm being honest, I'm a little, underwhelmed by Noah's improvement. I think he has gotten better. What concerns me is his lack of improvement at certain tracks, road courses specifically. He's good, he's okay, but like Ty Gibbs can run with AJ Allmendinger. Noah Gragson cannot. And I need to see Noah Gragson make that next step up to running with AJ because remember, AJ's not even kicking butt in the Cup Series. He's good, but he ain't kicking butt. And if you're in the Cup Series, you have to be good on all the tracks. And I really think if Noah got to the Cup Series and ran road courses with the next gen car, I mean, he's not good enough to run top 10 in that series. And I like Noah. I really want him to do well, and I hope when he gets to Cup, he doesn't stop racing Xfinity or truck. Like, run all the races, get laps under your belt. Look at the guys that go out and just run a ton of races. They try to get better, and they do get better. So it's like, don't get lazy. When you get to a Cup Series, still run every race. Get better. You're not the best you can be if you're not running races. How was your time at Iowa? Hy-Vee is going all in. Just makes me smile. It was amazing. Hy-Vee did a great job. Jimmy ran great. The track was the best I had ever seen it. I've never seen the track look that good. Hy-Vee they knocked it out of the park. I'm so just over the top thrilled with how well they put on that event. I mean, that event shows that Iowa Speedway has potential. And if you let the right people run it and kind of get in charge of how things run, that's what it's capable of. Because I hate to say it like this way, but once NASCAR had bought that track, it just seemed lazy. You'd show up to the track and it was dirty, it was grimy, there was nothing in the midway, nothing going on, concessions weren't that great, there was no, hospitality tents up, there was just nothing going on. And boy, Hy-Vee sure put a bright, shining light on the potential that track actually has. I'm thrilled. It was amazing. What's my favorite Larson scheme? Mine tied with his Target and Clover 2019 car. My favorite scheme? I don't know. My favorite diecast of his is probably his first win. I don't know what my favorite scheme would be, honestly. I used to work with Hy-Vee. It's awesome that they partnered with IndyCar Series. Yeah, I mean, they did a great job. Also, hey, what's up, Tyler? I see you just jumped in here. Yeah, it was just great. I mean, Hy-Vee man, I went to a couple of Hy-Vees this weekend, and holy crap, one of them was just brand new. Really nice store. But, man, I was just thrilled. It was nice to have Hy-Vee put the effort into the track that the fans kind of deserve. After all the years of no effort going into that track, having a race put on where it clearly showed that they wanted fans to show up, it was nice. It was really, really fun. And I am thrilled. I can't wait till next year because I bet next year is going to be even bigger. Yeah, I can't wait. The Hy-Vee near me went all out with IndyCar for advertisement, decorations, food, diecast. It made me, who never usually watches IndyCar, genuinely interested in the race. Yeah, no, here's the crazy thing, and I'm going to point this out because it's relevant. I went to Kansas this spring for the Kansas Cup race. I saw no signs, no posters, no advertisement, nothing. Nothing would have told me that a race was in town if I hadn't driven all the way down there. There was nothing. There was no buzz. There was nothing about that race that showed any significance. It's like the track, the city, nobody cared that they were in town. But I went to a Hy-Vee down there, and I saw signs for the Iowa IndyCar race that took place today and yesterday. This was back in May. A Hy-Vee in Kansas City was advertising for this race here today, and I saw signs and cutouts and things everywhere. Like, Hy-Vee was very proud about the fact that this was going to be their race. Meanwhile, the Kansas Speedway hosted a cup race, and nobody seemed to know they were even in town. That's how bad it was. Like, Kansas, get off your butt or move the race because you got to at least promote and act like you care a little bit. All right, here we go. Would want to go to the race one day. Definitely don't go to the. I shouldn't say don't go. The Saturday race was 100 some degrees. It was hot, so I would have. The Sunday was definitely the better one to go to. All right, let's see. Ooh, somebody got $1 on the number 3 Harvick car. That's pretty cool. If I wanted to get all the cars that won on my birthday, I'd have 2020 KB Texas. But all the one other guy is Johnson, who are more expensive and never made. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So that means you have a late birthday, and chances are a lot of cars were like Jimmy Johnson playoff wins that never got made. There needs to be a track in Denver or Salt Lake. Yeah, the West needs another track out there. Pikes Peak would be a good one for that region. Lionel should include custom rain covers. I mean, I'd be on board. Managed to snag a Jamie McMurray Brickyard ARC auto for $75 at a flea market the other day. Good grab. It's a good car. I had it once and did a review on it, but I don't know. It's like I prefer his Daytona 500 car probably. That's why I didn't get it again. Bristol does both with Food City, and I'm pretty sure RCR and Petty GMS usually run their food brands. Maybe I know that Bristol has the Food City race, but I mean it's nothing compared to what Hy-Vee had today. Like when I say Hy-Vee had, I mean like everyone behind every concession counter was wearing a Hy-Vee shirt. There were Hy-Vee trailers just for Jack Harvey and Hy-Vee merch, like in 3 different spots. There were literally giant Hy-Vee tents in turns 1 and turns 4. There was, I mean, people walking around that were just kind of doing basic PR stuff. Hy-Vee people, Hy-Vee photographers. Like, I'm telling you, Hy-Vee just, like, I think people didn't realize this race was put on by IndyCar and Hy-Vee. This race was not put on by the Iowa Speedway. They rented the facility. So that means that Iowa Speedway had no say in what one had. Well, I shouldn't say no say, but basically, Hy-Vee ran the race at the Iowa Speedway. Indy will be back because of how good this car is. I mean, honestly, Indy will be back just because they did it was fantastic. Good race. Hy-Vee is going to bring them back. It sounds like they got a 2-year deal left, so they got 2 more years of this, hopefully. I'm at Chicago. So much perfect mile and a half. Yeah, I'm telling you, the Chicago track would do great with the next gen car. Ty Gibbs is the future, period. Also, what are your thoughts on the next gen's crash capability lately? Small hits feel harder, and now we've got a concussion on our hands from a pedestrian wreck. I mean, yeah, you got to realize that quote unquote pedestrian wreck was still a hard hit. Yeah, I think the smaller hits, it sounds like they say it hurts harder. But that being said, it also sounds like, here's the thing. Yes, the driver takes a little bit harder hit on smaller hits. I agree, and I don't know. There's a benefit that is probably not being shown, but there's a lot. Look at how many times this year a guy has spun and like hit the wall, and not hit it like a little, but like kind of clocked it, just kind of, I don't know what the word would be, not slam, but like banged into the wall. Not like a slight tap, but like a good bang. And you look, and then the car's not bent. And he drives back to pit road. They kind of make sure everything's straight, and he goes out and drives, and it's still competitive. So this car is allowing them to spin and kind of take little taps to the wall and not bend the car. But those little taps are hurting drivers, or not hurting drivers, but they feel them more. The car doesn't give as much on those lower speed impacts. Now that's 2 things though. It's saving the car and allowing the driver to keep racing, but the driver's taking a harder hit. So I think that question comes down to, what does the driver want? Do you want a little spin that results in kind of a little wall tap to end your day? Or do you want it to not end your day, but you're going to have to take a harder hit? It's a trade-off. It really is. Let's see here. And Ty Gibbs being the future, I agree. I also think, though, the 54 is clearly the best car in Xfinity. You remember when Eric Jones was in that car? Like, he won a boatload of races. And we all thought he was going to light Cup on fire, and it didn't end up happening. So I definitely think Ty Gibbs is good. He's going to win races in the Cup Series. That's not an issue. I just don't know if he's going to be the next Chase Elliott, championship and winning a lot of races. Kyle Larson, I think we could very easily see him a little more like a Christopher Bell. Might take him a little bit to get rolling. It was a nail biter. Wow, that's really something. Heck of a emoji. Dale Sr. broke his leg in 1982 and was racing the next week. Yeah, I think they'd have trouble clearing you nowadays. Will we ever see someone meet or break Stewart and Johnson's 3-win rookie record? Probably not, because I think experience matters so much more in the Cup Series than it used to. Like, the only person who would have had a shot to break that record was Casey Kane in 04 or Kyle Larson in 14 if they didn't have so much downforce. Like, Kyle Larson could have won 3 races in 2014 without all that downforce. And Casey Kane could have easily beat that record with how many times he should have won a race his rookie season. My goodness. Charlotte was the best car by a country mile, leading at Dover with under 20 laps to go, and there's oil on the track. Comes a foot short comes up a foot short at Rockingham. Half a car at Texas. God, what other issues did he have? I know he ran into a boatload of trouble during that season in terms of like finishing those races off. But yeah, he did great. I agree, and Noah makes it better. Picked up a crash car door number. Crash car door number. Good job. And a Nova prototype. Been getting heavy on the high end Dale Seniors. Waiting for Noah to go full time. Well, there's gonna be some good Noah wins coming out. So you should have all those coming. And then he'll have 3 more from next year already, or this year. Back in the day, some cars came with plain black rain covers, and I know Racing Champions did those covers. Yeah, I mean, I just think it comes down if it really comes down to if it's worth the money to put that in. Can you show something else on your screen? Let's see. You're a Kyle Busch fan. Let's show you a Kyle Busch car. Ta-da! There you go. Something new. It was loud when he hit the wall. Yeah, it said Kurt hit pretty hard. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like when people say it was a pedestrian hit, it's like it wasn't. It was a Pocono spinning into the inside wall, which is some of the hardest hits you'll take. So I think the car still probably did a decent job, but I mean, we'll never know what the difference between that and the Gen 6 would have been. Like here's the thing. When people say the new car is stiffer, it is stiffer at low impact. So it's kind of like a spring. If you have a soft spring, you can take your finger and go and just collapse it. You can put your finger on it and press it down. If you got a stiff spring, it takes effort and you might only press it halfway down. It might take a little bit more effort to push it down. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you're going 100 miles an hour, or not 100, but if you're taking a hand and you're slapping it, sorry, I'm going to move this. If you're taking a hand and you're slapping it, the soft spring, whack. You're hitting the table because the soft spring did nothing to slow it down. The stiffer spring, like a stiffer car, you slap it, it might actually slow your hand down a little more before you hit. And I think that's the goal of the next gen, is it takes the heaviest hits and dissipates them better. But the smaller hits, which is what drivers have been complaining about, they're taking a little bit more of a brute force to it because essentially it's like a stiff spring. You're hitting it and it's kind of rebounding, where on the softer car it would just crumble. Yeah, I said I don't know if they took a step backwards on the crumple zone. I just think honestly the car that may have been one that was just hard enough that it would have caused a problem no matter what car it was. Like I said, the stiffer car works like a stiff spring. What do I think is the biggest upset of the year so far? Probably honestly Suarez. I didn't see him getting a win. I shouldn't say that. I saw him running better and potentially getting a win, but I'm a little surprised that he snagged it when he did. So I'd have to probably say Suarez. Let's see here. Yeah, Chase's champ, I'd listen to NASCAR Bros. Probably a pretty good deal. Chase Elliott in 16 had a chance. Yeah, Chase ran well in 16. He could have won. He was really good at the Kansas Fall race when I was there. He led a bunch of laps. Obviously could have won Chicago that year too. He was really good there. So he had a shot. It definitely wasn't as clear as Kane's. I mean, Kane had like a record number, not a record, but he had a ton of top fives, ton of DNFs as well, though. Didn't blow his tire on the burnout. Yeah, I know. Noah's failing us. His job is to make good race wins. Kane had 2004, probably could have had 4 or 5 wins. I'm talking about photo finishes, wrong end of the aforementioned Charlotte and Dover. That doesn't even count Michigan, where they threw a BS yellow coming to the checkered flag for some dumb reason. It's like a car spun out on the backstretch somewhere, and it's like, why did you throw a yellow for that? Just let him get to the line and then throw it. Because he had a big run coming on Newman that day. Which season as a Kane was worse, 7, 17 apart from Indy, and 18. 7. 2007 was the worst. That was an abysmal season. Like, I was happy if he was running above the top 20. It was awful. Don't get me wrong, 17 and 18 were painful too, but at least we the expectations weren't high. He came off a 6-win season and was awful. 07 was painful. Have I seen any documentaries of Senior's great content? My parents loved him, and even after passing, made me a fan of him. Probably his style is why I love Noah and Logano. Yeah, I mean, it definitely makes sense. I think the biggest thing is that I think the biggest reason I wouldn't have been a fan of Earnhardt's was like I like guys that race pretty clean, but then kind of like honestly Hamlin. Hamlin races you clean unless you wrong him. And if he doesn't race you clean, it's because he messed up. Like, that happens. Guys make mistakes. Like, Earnhardt was similar to that, but there were times where he would just full-blown basically say, if you don't lift, I'm just going to put you in the wall. And I just wouldn't be a fan of that. Like, I don't want to be raced that way. So, it would have been my thing. Noah throws up when he wins Gregson. I'm good with that. Oh, someone's got Chase Elliott's confetti. I see that, Logan. You've got the confetti car from Atlanta. That looks great. How are they going to make Chase's Pocono? Lionel's going to find a way. Believe me, there's money involved. Man, it's a busy stream. Yeah, I know. It's tough. Like, it's a tough stream, and honestly, I'm having trouble with my voice right now. So I might actually call it a day because my voice is feeling kind of strained and kind of bugging me. So I may have to just call it up. It has been 2 hours, so that might be part of it. But yeah, I don't know. My voice feels really weird. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thanks for stopping in. I hope you guys enjoyed the races this weekend. All I can say is for the next week, you guys need to post everywhere about how Iowa deserves a cup race. We just have to make a lot of noise so that we can get a race in here. I mean, the track looked great. They definitely deserve it, if again, with the right people running the show. But yeah, help me make some noise about the Iowa Speedway, because I'm telling you, that place was great. And if you haven't ever been there, I'm telling you, you got to show up and go to a race at some point. Xfinity, Truck, even IndyCar, they all put on absolutely great racing. Obviously, someday it'll have to, someday it'll have to get repaved, and that'll be a sad day. But for now, it's an old, wore-out, short track, and it's a high bank. It puts on such great racing. So you guys just got to help me stand for the Iowa Speedway here for the next couple weeks. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This has been Race Craze, and we will see you tomorrow in the next Diecast review.